Chapter 1436. Bai Taesong, who was sent flying by Night Sorrow's kick, shook and regained control of his body. Then his body flashed and began to escape. Night Sorrow didn't chase because it was useless. Bai Taesong was too fast. After attacking Bai Taesong twice and injuring Bai Taesong, Night Sorrow was already satisfied with the result of burning his essence blood. Datura, Lord Jianghu, and the others also arrived at Night Sorrow's side. "This guy is like a frightened bird, he won't fight you head-on," Datura said. "His speed is too terrifying. If we don't exhaust him to the point where he can't burn his essence blood, it will be very difficult to kill him. Let's continue chasing," Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow led the group and chased after him. He wanted to pressure Bai Taesong. "If you want to run, then continue burning your essence blood. If you slow down, then we will catch up." After using his soul power to check the situation, Bai Taesong was furious. However, he could only burn his essence blood to increase his speed and avoid Night Sorrow and the others' soul power detection area. "There's nothing we can do about it. Let's go back and wait. Let's see where he went," Night Sorrow said after Bai Taesong disappeared from their soul power detection area. After returning to Flaming Cloud City, Night Sorrow drank tea while trying to sense Bai Taesong's location. However, he could only sense the general area. "What's the situation?" Datura looked at Night Sorrow and asked. "This fellow is constantly moving. He hasn't stopped. Let's wait and see." "He'll eventually stop," Yishan said. Bai Taesong was very puzzled. How did Night Sorrow and the others track him to Flaming Cloud Canyon? Jianghu world was billions of miles wide. If they could track him to Flaming Cloud Canyon, then they must have locked onto him. Bai Taesong felt that this might be the result of the fortune teller's divination, so he didn't dare to stop now. If he stopped, he might be tracked. Bai Taesong had lived for countless years and cultivated to the Heaven Master realm. He was very experienced and knowledgeable. He knew that if he wanted to survive now, he had to avoid being hunted down. The Jianghu Great World was no longer safe. No one chased after him. Bai Taesong ate some healing pills and entered the small city. He then took the teleportation circle and teleported to another high-level world. He then continued to teleport to another world. He wanted to find a safe and secluded place to heal and recuperate. If he couldn't fight against Night Sorrow, he definitely wouldn't appear. He wasn't stupid. He knew that if he wasn't careful and continued like this, he could easily die. The moment Bai Taesong left the Jianghu Great World, Night Sorrow stood up because he could not sense Bai Taesong's situation. He left the Jianghu Great World. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow shook his head helplessly. "The soul-locking technique is no longer effective?" Datura asked. "Yes, it's gone. He should have left the Jianghu Great World. However, I don't know which space he went to. The last place he left should be Wujiang City," Night Sorrow said as he pointed at the map. "This is the Heavenly Moon Pavilion's territory. We can still check which worlds Wujiang City is connected to," said the Three Sons Lord of Heaven. "Then check. After you're done, let's go to those worlds. I can find his location in the same world," Night Sorrow said. As soon as Night Sorrow finished speaking, a golden light appeared in the sky and landed on Night Sorrow's head. The golden light of merit. Night Sorrow had forced Bai Taesong to retreat. The Jianghu Great World had stabilized. This was a boundless merit. Night Sorrow took out a futon and sat down to meditate. It stabilized. "The divine martial origin thinks that the chaos has passed," said Lord of Heaven Godhood. He naturally knew that it was the golden light of merit. "Lord of Heaven Godhood, Three Sons Lord of Heaven, even if we chase after him, there won't be much of an effect. Bai Taesong is not stupid. He will definitely try his best to hide. He has been the leader of a force for many years. It's impossible for him to only have the creation Immortal Pavilion's spatial Dharma treasure. If he went to another spatial world and entered a spatial Dharma treasure to heal, we won't be able to find him," Datura said. "Yes, we did not prepare properly. However, after being beaten up to this extent by Commander Knight, he won't dare to come out easily. He won't dare to return to the Jianghu Great World either." The Three Sons Lord of Heaven nodded. He knew that although they had not killed Bai Taesong would not dare to come out. Night Sorrow cultivated for 2 hours before standing up. 8. Our network, Yongru Geo Free Watch Little E say one Night Sorrow's body of merit had reached the critical point of becoming a Merit Supreme Sage. He just needed one more step and he would become a Merit Supreme Sage. Night Sorrow also had some enlightenment. He did not have this opportunity in the Reincarnation Great World or the Jianghu Great World. The 3,000 realms were a whole. Night Sorrow did not know if there were other groups of 3,000 realms like this. However, he knew that the Reincarnation Great World, the Jianghu Great World, and the Black-Yellow Great World were part of a group of 3,000 realms. Each Great World ruled 1,000 realms. Night Sorrow had already obtained merit from the Reincarnation Great World and the Jianghu Great World. If he wanted to break through the critical point, he could only obtain merit from the Black-Yellow Great World. Night Sorrow shook his head. He knew that it was best to let nature take its course. If he wanted to become a Merit Supreme Sage, he would be at a disadvantage. His master, the Qing Emperor, knew a lot. However, he was still not a Merit Supreme Sage. He was not even a body of merit. Upon seeing Night Sorrow stand up, Heaven Lord Jianghu and the others cupped their fists at Night Sorrow. It is indeed very difficult for us to catch him now. However, I believe that he will not dare to come out easily. How about this? You guys should contact each other. This is my messaging crystal. If that fellow appears and attacks you, you can contact me immediately. I will rush over. Night Sorrow took out a messaging crystal and handed it to Heaven Lord Three Suns. I am very grateful to Commander Night. Let's go to the Jianghu city to rest and set up a banquet, Heaven Lord Three Suns said. Commander Night, I said last time that if you come to the Jianghu Great World after the Realm War, you will be a distinguished guest of the Jianghu dynasty. This time you must treat Commander Night to a drink. Don't mind what happened in the past, Heaven Lord Jianghu said. I will drink this wine. Night Sorrow nodded. He did not want to reject such an offer. Heaven Lord Jianghu brought a group of people to one of his courtyards in the Jianghu city. Three Suns, Tsangling Nanhua, the Realm War last time was my fault. I will apologize to everyone here. After instructing his servants to prepare some food and wine, Heaven Lord Jianghu bowed to the other Heaven Lords of the Jianghu Great World. You must not be impulsive in the future. However, now that the calamity is over, it is a new beginning, Heaven Lord Three Suns said. Night Sorrow, this favor does not count. I am grateful for your mercy last time. This is a small gift I have prepared for you. Heaven Lord Jianghu took out a storage ring. There is no need. There is really no need. You guys suffered a lot during the Realm War last time, Night Sorrow rejected with a smile. In that case, I will give you this mansion. You will have a place to stay in the Jianghu Great World. You cannot reject this, Heaven Lord Jianghu said. Chapter 1437. Lord Godhood, this isn't very appropriate, Night Sorrow said. He didn't want it, but he didn't know how to reject it. How is it inappropriate? No one is taking care of it. You don't have to worry about it. The servants here will be taken care of, Lord Godhood said. Just accept it. Actually, we have a favor to ask of you. You have a mansion in Jianghu Great World. Bai Taisong won't dare to come back even if he finds out, Lord Godhood said. Night Sorrow, I didn't think of this. I'm really not plotting against you. Lord Godhood felt a little awkward after hearing Lord Godhood's words. It's fine. I'll accept the mansion. Just leave the servants here. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood that Lord Godhood wasn't plotting against him. While drinking, the people of Jianghu Great World elected the Lord of Jianghu City. Everyone chose Lord Godhood. However, Lord Godhood took the initiative to make some promises. Bai Taisong's forbearance had caused Lord Godhood's temperament to change. Night Sorrow and Datura just listened and didn't say anything. After drinking and expressing their gratitude again, Lord Godhood and the others left, leaving Datura and Night Sorrow drinking tea and chatting. This mansion is in the best location in Jianghu City. 100,000 Saint Spirit Stones wouldn't be enough to buy it. However, this mansion is a little troublesome. Only the two of us can live here. It won't be safe for other people, Datura said. Just leave it there. We'll come and take a look when we have time. Let's go to the Jianghu Fighting Paradise to take a look, Night Sorrow said to Datura. Datura nodded. She respected Night Sorrow's opinion. She also wanted to see it. It was the face of Jianghu Great World. It was on the same level as the Reincarnation Palace in the Reincarnation Great World and the Heaven and Earth Pavilion in the Black-Yellow Great World. Night Sorrow and Datura strolled towards the Divine Martial Fighting Paradise, located south of the Divine Martial City. As soon as Night Sorrow arrived, there was a burst of energy, and the Divine Martial Origin body wearing a simple robe appeared. Super Cool 9. It was not the first time that Night Sorrow had come into contact with the world's origin, so he could tell at a glance. Night Sorrow and Datura cupped their hands towards the Divine Martial Source body. This was out of courtesy. No matter how the Realm War went, there was nothing wrong with showing some respect to a world source that had grown for countless years. The Divine Martial Origin body looked at Night Sorrow for a while before nodding. The Shinwu Great World's realm war was not an unjust loss. I'm sorry. I'm a cultivator from the reincarnation world. I have to win this war for the reincarnation world, Night Sorrow said. You are from the reincarnation world. You are now, but you might not be in the future. However, it's not wrong for you to contribute to the realm war. The divine martial origin body looked at Night Sorrow and said, Is it now or in the future? Night Sorrow did not understand. You are the realm lord of the supreme origin world. In the future it will also be a great world. You are a talent from that great world, the divine martial origin body explained. I understand. I still have to apologize for hurting the Shinwu Great World. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the divine martial origin body again. You don't have to apologize. On the contrary, I should be thanking you for helping me deal with the aftermath, the divine martial origin body said. It's still not done well. If he escapes, he will become a hidden danger sooner or later, Night Sorrow said. I don't think so. He obtained the origin battle armor in the battling heaven. It's the divine martial origin battle armor. After he loses his virtue, I can't go back on my words and take back the armor. However, I won't be able to buff it anymore. If he keeps using it in the Shinwu Great World, it won't be a problem. However, once he leaves the Shinwu Great World, the origin power will slowly dissipate. Furthermore, after being pierced by you a few times, much of its origin power has been consumed, the divine martial origin body said. It will dissipate slowly. As long as we can hold on until the origin battle armor loses its power, he will no longer be a threat. Night Sorrow nodded. 20 years. In the next 20 years, help me protect the Shinwu Great World. After 20 years, the origin battle armor will only be slightly stronger than a monarch weapon, the divine martial origin body said to Night Sorrow. 20 years is not a problem. If Bai Taesong appears, I will make a move. Night Sorrow frowned. Bai Taesong's origin battle armor would lose its power. Would his reincarnation have this drawback? You don't have to worry. You are the lord of the origin of the sovereign world. You also have the sovereign attribute. Your origin is compatible with your attribute. No one can take it away from you. The reincarnation origin will only buff and modify it. The divine martial origin body saw Night Sorrow's worry. After hearing the divine martial origin body's words, Night Sorrow felt at ease. He didn't like unstable factors. Reincarnation was too important to him. You will help me protect the Shinwu Great World for 20 years. I will remember this favor. You have the luck and merit in the reincarnation world. You will have the same luck and merit in the Shinwu Great World. The divine martial origin body nodded to Night Sorrow. After making a promise, the divine martial origin body disappeared. In front of the divine martial battle heaven, Datura and the two returned to the mansion. Before returning to the mansion, Night Sorrow noticed that the mansion's signboard had been changed. The original signboard with the words God Tiger had disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by the Yi Mansion's signboard. You are quite fast. Not bad. Night Sorrow looked at the signboard and said, It is also a family property. Moreover, it is a family property that no one will covet easily. Datura said with a smile. At the very least, no one will touch this mansion when the top forces are in charge in the Shinwu Great World. Night Sorrow smiled. Lord God Tiger and the others' attitudes had changed. They respected him very much. Not only would they not touch this mansion, but they would also not allow others to touch it. In addition, the Yi Mansion was not a place that anyone could touch as they wished. To be exact, no one dared to touch it. Night Sorrow's name was not only in the reincarnation world but also in the Shinwu Great World. Night Sorrow pulled Datura into the mansion. After drinking 2 cups of wine, Night Sorrow and Datura took the teleportation formation back to the reincarnation world. Seeing that Night Sorrow had returned, Qing Emperor was very happy and set up a banquet. Master, how is the situation now? Night Sorrow asked. Very good. He has completely recovered. His cultivation has also improved slightly. Very good. Qing Emperor said with a smile. He knew what Night Sorrow was asking about. Good. Night Sorrow nodded vigorously. Night Sorrow was most worried about Qing Emperor's health. Ah, you should be relieved now. Qing Emperor said with a smile. I am relieved. Later I will go to Yuandao Heaven to have a look. Night Sorrow said. It's good to go and have a look. You may not know that Yuandao Heaven is in a bad situation now. There is also trouble in the Xuanhuang Great World. Demons like those in Yuandao Heaven's seal have appeared inexplicably. They seem to come from the same place and have the same origin, Qing Emperor said. Chapter 1438. What is fate? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow. The fate of the deluxe merit sage is 3 groups of worlds and 3,000 worlds. Merit cannot be biased. In other words, no matter what I do in the samsara great world, I will not become the deluxe merit sage. The deluxe merit sage not only needs the approval of the world's origin, but also the approval of the heavenly way. I do not deliberately seek merit. If something happens in the Jianghu great world, I will help if I can. If there is a demon invasion in the Xuanhuan great world, it will be best if there is merit. Even if there is no merit, there are some things that need to be done. After all, Master and City Lord Tang are best friends, and I also have friends there, Night Sorrow said. Your path is different from ordinary cultivators, so I can't see it clearly. Just follow your heart, Qing Emperor said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that there were some things that needed to be done naturally. There was no need to force it. When the time was right, the opportunity would come. This was fate. After the banquet, Night Sorrow and Dachura left the Samsara City Lord's mansion. They took the teleportation formation back to the 9-story building. Night Sorrow arrived at the Sky Tiger Pass. He looked at the soldiers of the 9 Heavens Legion and the members of the God-slaying team. After staying in the 9-story building for a while, Night Sorrow told Dachura that he planned to go to the Yuandao Sky to take a look. Okay, then go. Come back early. I will go to the Dark Abyss to take a look. Dachura said. She was very confident in Night Sorrow's safety. It was not easy for anyone to kill Night Sorrow now. Even Bai Taesong, who had the origin battle armor, could not do it, let alone others. Then go and take a look. Come back early, Night Sorrow said. Okay, I will go and take a look. I just need to tell them what to do. There is no war now. Let others do it. Dachura nodded. Then Night Sorrow packed up and set off. Yuandao Sky was quite far from Reincarnation City. After Night Sorrow used a few teleportation arrays, he started to fly because Yuandao Tian was in the Boundless Sea region. There were many islands in the Endless Sea domain, and Yuandao Tian was one of them. If he didn't have a map and didn't know where to go, he would never be able to find Yuandao Tian. Night Sorrow flew for half an hour and arrived at a small island. He then entered a special stone forest. Following the path on the map, Night Sorrow arrived at a teleportation channel. Teleporting to another small island, Night Sorrow left the teleportation array and walked for a while before entering an iron forest. Night Sorrow arrived in front of a huge 3-pronged iron tree. With a flash, he leaped onto the tree. 200 feet above the tree, there was a small man-made platform with a teleportation array on it. After Night Sorrow finished teleporting, he arrived at a huge island. This was the headquarters of Yuandao Tian. As soon as Night Sorrow came out, he was stopped by 2 sovereigns. Who are you? Why are you here? Asked one of the sovereigns. I am here to visit Yuandao Tian, said Night Sorrow. Hand over your weapons and I will report it. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite, said the sovereign. Night Sorrow wouldn't agree to hand over his weapons, so he wouldn't let anyone else do it. I'm standing right here. Can't you report it? Asked Night Sorrow. No, you must hand over your weapons, said the sovereign coldly. All right, pretend I didn't come. Since the other party insisted on making him hand over his weapons, Night Sorrow had no choice but to leave. Yuandao, do you think you can come and go as you please? The sovereign pulled out her weapons. Stop, don't be rude. Just as Night Sorrow raised his hand to grab Samsara, Yufeng appeared. Greetings, Commander. Greetings, Commander. The 2 sovereigns and Yufeng who were guarding the teleportation array bowed respectfully. The 2 monarchs guarding the teleportation array bowed to Yufeng, and Yufeng bowed to Yishan. You're finally here. If you hadn't come, I wouldn't have been able to enter or leave. This is really worrying, said Night Sorrow bitterly. What's wrong with you 2? Don't you know what's going on? Can't you report that this is a guest of the Heavenly Lord? Yufeng glared at the 2 sovereigns. Commander Yufeng, it's nothing, said Night Sorrow. He really didn't care about the 2 sovereigns blocking his way. I'm sorry that this happened. I'm really sorry. At this time Yuandao Tian appeared. When Night Sorrow touched Samsara, his aura leaked out and Yuandao Tian noticed it. Heavenly Lord, you're too polite. It's nothing. However, weapons are the lifeblood of us cultivators. It's really not very appropriate to hand over weapons, said Night Sorrow. The 2 of you acted on your own accord. Go to the cliff of reflection and reflect on your mistakes. Weapons are what cultivators rely on to survive. You're asking for someone else's weapon. Isn't that the same as asking for someone else's life? Said Yuandao Tian angrily as he looked at the 2 sovereigns who were making things difficult for Night Sorrow. At this time the two sovereigns bowed to Night Sorrow and apologized. I'm here to visit Heavenly Lord because I'm happy. I feel bad that they were punished because of me, said Night Sorrow. Alright, the two of you be careful in the future. Commander Night, let's go. Yuan Daotian led Night Sorrow into Yuan Daotian. You two bastards. That's the commander of our Samsara World's Alliance army. You want to hand over his weapon? Yu Feng glared at the two sovereigns who were guarding the teleportation formation. He's very young. Who knew that he was the commander of the Alliance army? Heavenly Lord, you're too polite, said the female sovereign. She was a member of Yuan Daotian's primordial hall, Huang Yu. Young man, if you don't accept it, he can chase after a sky pillar and kill you. Killing you too is as easy as squashing ants. Don't talk nonsense and remember today's lesson. Yu Feng was somewhat dissatisfied with Huang Yu's attitude because Yi Shan was someone he respected. Night Sorrow and Yuan Daotian arrived at Yuan Daotian's primordial hall. I received news that you went to kill by Taesong again, said Yuan Daotian after sitting down. It's embarrassing to say that he still managed to escape. I didn't succeed in chasing him down, said Night Sorrow. It's embarrassing. It's an awe-inspiring thing, said Yuan Daotian with a smile. The two of them chatted casually. Night Sorrow talked about chasing after Bai Taesong. So what if he ran? He's very afraid of you. He won't dare to act recklessly in the future, said Yuan Daotian. Indeed, it's not much of a threat. His origin energy armor will become weaker and weaker. Once the origin energy armor loses its power, others will be able to fight against him. Night Sorrow explained what had happened when he saw the divine martial origin. Most N7 new chapters are cool X. That's good. It's really a troubled time. Xuanhuan Great World is a bit chaotic. The demons are very strong. It's really a disaster. Yuan Daotian sighed. Chapter 1439. It wasn't very stable before. However, after the chaos in the Black-Yellow Great World, Yuan Dao Heaven became relatively stable. There are some things that you might not know. I know more about them, so I'll tell you about them, Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven said. Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven then told Night Sorrow some things. Yuan Dao Heaven was the oldest force in the Reincarnation Great World. Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven knew some things that others didn't know. The Reincarnation Great World, the Shenwu Great World, and the Xuanhuan Great World each had 1,000 worlds. They formed the 3,000 worlds group called the Chaos Domain. Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven didn't know how many there were, but he was sure that there were many of them. Yuan Dao Heaven was guarding the passageway to the Chaos Domain from another domain. Look at Chapter 1 #NH Network. Others don't know? Night Sorrow asked. No. What's the point of telling them this? It'll only make them upset. Maybe the people from the Celestial Sect know because their rank 9 corpse came from somewhere else, Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven said. Somewhere else. Night Sorrow was shocked. This world was much more complicated than he thought. It's hard to say. I'll tell you slowly. Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven exhaled. Yuan Dao Heaven wasn't created by Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven, but Yuan Qing Lord of Heaven. Yuan Qing Heaven Lord had obtained the inheritance of a level 9 cultivator. However, Yuan Qing Heaven Lord had fallen. Normally, King of Heaven was in the undying realm and had an endless lifespan. A Lord of Heaven wouldn't die so easily. Yuan Qing Lord of Heaven died in a battle with the demons. He killed his opponent, but his original body was severely injured. His doppelganger also suffered irrecoverable injuries. Later, when he was suppressing the demon's passageway, the demon's aura entered his body and he died. Yuan Qing Lord of Heaven could have survived as long as he left the demon's passageway. He didn't want the Reincarnation Great World to be attacked by the demons, so he persisted until Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven entered the Heavenly Lord realm. The inheritance that Master received came from the Celestial Realm's Yuan Dao Celestial Sect. This is also the origin of our Yuan Dao Celestial Sect's name, said Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord. What kind of place is the Celestial Realm? I've read a lot of ancient books but there's no record of it, Night Sorrow said in surprise. Other than you, I have never mentioned it to anyone else. Therefore, no one knows that the Celestial Realm is the core of all the realms. It surpasses all the realms. The greater realms are nothing in front of the Celestial Realm. In fact, many people do not know or are ignorant. They have confused some concepts. Let me explain it to you. Yuan Dao Sky Lord nodded to Night Sorrow. Many people referred to the world of reincarnation Shenhuang and Shenwu as sovereign worlds or greater worlds. But in fact, it is correct to call it the Great World but not the Supreme World. Also, for cultivators above the 8th step but not the 9th step, it is correct to call them Heavenly Lord but not Tycoon. Vision determines everything. Heavenly lords are nothing in front of a ninth-step Imperial Realm cultivator. They will be easily killed. Calling them tycoons is a joke. Of course there is no need for us to correct them, said Yuandao Sky Lord. Yes, there is no need. Let others call them whatever they want. Lord Heavenly Lord, does the Celestial Realm have anything to do with us? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, the Celestial Realm's inheritance is a hidden danger. Everyone avoids it. Also, if you want to enter the ninth step, it will be easier in the Celestial Realm. Of course, this is what I read in the ancient books. Who knows the specifics? I actually want to go and take a look, but the Devil's Channel must be suppressed. This is the responsibility of the Yuandao Celestial Disciples, said Yuandao Sky Lord. Thank you, Senior. Night Sorrow stood up and bowed to Yuandao Sky Lord. It's nothing. I still gained something. Yuandao Sky Lord released his aura. Body of merit. Yuandao Sky Lord was also a body of merit. Because he was suppressing the Devil's Channel, he was also a great benefactor to the reincarnation world. There are many things that I haven't said to anyone else. That's because I don't trust you. If someone with evil intentions comes to attack the Yuandao Heaven and the Yuandao Heaven is destroyed, the reincarnation great world will suffer a calamity. However, your merit is even greater than mine. That's why I trust you. Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. You are very strong now. If I can't handle it, there will be a successor. I believe you are willing to help the reincarnation world, said Yuandao Sky Lord with a smile. Of course. Later, Senior, bring Night Sorrow to the Devil's Channel, said Night Sorrow. Sure, but there is no rush. You are the first VIP of the Yuandao Celestial after so many years. We must treat you well. Yuandao Sky Lord was in high spirits. Night Sorrow nodded. It was hard to refuse Yuandao Sky Lord's hospitality, so he could only accept. Yuandao Sky Lord held a welcoming banquet for Night Sorrow and called all the important people of the Yuandao Celestial over. Before the banquet began, Yuandao Sky Lord stood up. Today I have something to announce. This is Night Sorrow, my friend. In the future, his orders in the Yuandao Celestial will be the same as mine. Sky Lord, how can I accept this? Night Sorrow was a little anxious. Don't be so agitated. You must come to the Yuandao Celestial as a guest. Today's misunderstanding cannot happen again, so it is necessary to get to know you. Yuandao Sky Lord smiled. After the banquet, Yuandao Sky Lord arranged a courtyard for Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea and pondered. Today's events had greatly affected him. As his level increased, he learned more. Night Sorrow also understood that Yuandao Sky Lord was someone who had truly contributed to the reincarnation world. He also understood why the Celestial sect was so domineering. It was because they were a power that had been passed down from the Celestial realm. They naturally had many trump cards. Night Sorrow definitely wanted to uproot the Celestial sect. It was just that the time wasn't right, so he had to wait. It wasn't that Night Sorrow couldn't tolerate them. It was just that the Celestial sect had developed a self-centered temperament. Everyone had to give them face. Furthermore, Night Sorrow wouldn't let go of the matter of him injuring the Qing Emperor. Night Sorrow had his own considerations when it came to grudges. He could tolerate some things, but there were also some things he couldn't tolerate. After resting for a while, Yuandao Sky Lord brought Night Sorrow along and began flying. These fiends are a little different from the ones in the Dark Abyss. They are more tyrannical, so they aren't easy to deal with. Fortunately, Master set up a sealing formation so we can still block them. My true body has been guarding the formation this entire time. What level of fiends are they? Asked Night Sorrow. Chapter 1440. As they flew, Night Sorrow and Yuandao Heavenly Lord arrived at the center of Yuandao Heavenly Island. There were countless iron pillars on all sides, and between the iron pillars were black chains. The chains emitted light, and as the light flickered, it emitted a shocking aura. This is the primordial octagonal demon lock array. It prevents the aura of the Devil's Tunnel from leaking out, and it can also gather the suppressive force of the reincarnation great world. It is the last barrier of the Devil's Tunnel. Let's go in. Yuandao Heavenly Lord waved his arm and released energy to shake the chains, opening a tunnel. Night Sorrow and Yuandao Heavenly Lord entered the tunnel. There is a teleportation array here that can instantly reach the place. This time you can experience it. We will not take the teleportation array. Night Sorrow can fly over and take a look. Yuandao Heavenly Lord pointed at the teleportation array beside the tunnel. Following that, he led Night Sorrow and flew diagonally underground. Half an hour later, Night Sorrow and Yuandao Heavenly Lord arrived at an underground hall. The hall was huge with a diameter of about 3 to 4 miles. The hall was filled with dense energy beams, and Yuandao Heavenly Lord sat in the middle. That is my true body. Because guarding this place can condense my quintessential chi, my true body is here, and my avatar is handling the matters outside, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. At that moment, Night Sorrow was looking at the defensive barrier opposite him and Yuandao Heavenly Lord on the way in. Inside the defensive barrier, there was an ink-black energy tumbling, and there were human figures. Night Sorrow felt that the human figures contained very strong energy, and one of them was at the Heavenly Lord level. Don't worry. The array formation here is quite strong. The stronger the opponent's charge, the stronger the array formation suppression will be, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. But it will only treat the symptoms and not the root cause. We can't passively defend like this. Something will definitely go wrong if we keep defending. Night Sorrow was a little worried. Your thoughts are the same as mine, but there is nothing we can do now. We don't have the strength to fight back, so we can only keep reinforcing the array formation, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. I understand. This is everyone's business. We'll discuss it later, Night Sorrow said. I've kept this matter in my heart for many years and didn't dare to tell anyone. I was afraid that there would be people with bad intentions who wanted to destroy this place. That would be a huge problem. Just like Ling Tian, he's a crazy person. Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. He was talking to Yi Shang as a friend, he was addressing him as I. That is indeed the case. Night Sorrow nodded his head. He could understand the pressure that Yuandao Heavenly Lord felt. I have my own selfish motives for pulling you into this whirlpool. However, it is also for the sake of the entire reincarnation world, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said apologetically. Haha, Lord of Heaven, you think too much. I want some peace and quiet, but I'm not someone who can't see the big picture, Night Sorrow said. It's my fault for disturbing your peace. I'll treat you to a drink later, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. What's up with that tunnel? Night Sorrow asked as he pointed to a door that was sealed with origin stone chains at the side of the hall. That's the place where Yuandao Heavenly Lord's ancestors came from. However, no one has ever entered. Let alone entering, there are only 3 people in the world who have entered. Me, you, and Yufeng. I see the 2 of them as my future successors, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. I understand. I'll have to go and take a look in the future, Night Sorrow said. You still have room for improvement. When you feel that you have reached a limit, you can send a clone in to try. I won't stop you. If you want to change, you have to have a plan, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. All right. Night Sorrow nodded his head. Then, Yuandao Heavenly Lord introduced Night Sorrow to the operation of the array in the hall. In other words, Night Sorrow could control everything here. After the introduction, Yuandao Heavenly Lord brought Night Sorrow back to his side yard. I feel much more relaxed now that I've pulled you into the pit. Even if I can't handle it, you're still here, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said with a smile. The millions of living beings in the reincarnation great world should thank you, Lord Heavenly Lord, Night Sorrow said. Haha, that's nothing. As a member of Yuandao Heavenly Lord, we have to adhere to the teachings of our ancestors. Also, don't worry. I'm here. You don't have to worry about anything here, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. Night Sorrow nodded his head. He could understand what Yuandao Heavenly Lord was thinking. He was leaving a backup plan for Yuandao Heavenly Lord in the reincarnation great world. Night Sorrow stayed in Yuandao Heavenly Lord for half a month. Yuandao Heavenly Lord brought Night Sorrow around and all the members of Yuandao Heavenly Lord got to know Night Sorrow. When Night Sorrow was about to leave, Yuandao Heavenly Lord did not ask him to stay. After all, Night Sorrow had his own things to do. Then, Yuandao Heavenly Lord and Yufeng sent him off. Night Sorrow took the teleportation array and left. After flying across the endless ocean, Night Sorrow returned to the reincarnation great world. Then he took the teleportation array and returned to the city in the sky. Seeing Night Sorrow return, his son and daughter ran to Night Sorrow's side. Did it go well? Dachura, who was following the children, asked. Yes, but I know something. I'll tell you later, Night Sorrow said. Yes. The situation in the Xuanhuan Great World is not looking good. The entire world is fighting. The main reason is that the devil army is too strong, Dachura said. Troubled times. Yishan spat out these words. Dachura looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. During your growth you never settled down. However, because of the constant challenges you grew faster. Actually, it's strange. So many years have passed but so many things have not happened, Dachura said. Then, after returning to the mansion, Night Sorrow casually chatted with his family. After being asked by Datura, Night Sorrow thought for a while and felt that it was nothing. Then he told them everything he had seen and heard in Yuandao Heavenly Lord. The Primal Chaos Realm. Our 3 great worlds form the Primal Chaos Realm. There are 3,000 realms like this? Datura looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Yes, the Celestial Realm. According to Lord of Heaven Yuanqing, the Celestial Realm is the core of all the world groups. Yuandao Heavenly Lord's inheritance is external. The inheritance of Celestial Sect is also external. So, there are many unknown things. Night Sorrow nodded. Datura was also thinking. Because things had gone beyond her prediction, there were many things she did not know. Don't think too much, Night Sorrow said. What do you think about the Xuanhuan Great World? Night Sorrow asked Datura. Cool first, 2-inch no matter what, it should happen. Let nature take its course. Besides, my path to becoming a merit great sage is also in the Xuanhuan Great World. Last time I took the heavenly Dao flower in the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. This is karma, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1441. Just as the host was looking at the bald middle-aged man expectantly, hoping that he would raise the price to 550 million, the bald middle-aged man suddenly raised his hand and said something that stunned the host. New address. I give up. As soon as he said that, the whole audience went into an uproar. No one knew why he gave up. If he just wanted to set the price, he obviously didn't have to say that. That would definitely bring him revenge. Lin Feng was slightly stunned. Could it be that he had encountered the same kind of high prices before? Give up. Although the host was a little disappointed, he still said in a professional manner, it's every auction owner's right to give up. Now, 510 million going once, 510 million going twice. The host paused deliberately, but still no one raised the price, so he had to make the final decision. 510 million sold. The final winner is Mr. Lin, the chairman of our Jianfeng real estate company. Congratulations to him. The audience applauded warmly. Although this auction item wasn't the most expensive one in the whole auction, Lin Feng deserved to be respected as the finale item. The reason was very simple. This was the rule of the auction. The winner of the finale item deserved to be applauded like this. Congratulations, Chairman Lin. But I didn't see you interested in bronze before. Bamboo Pole didn't say anything, but Secretary Li was a little curious. During this period he had been with Lin Feng almost every day, so he knew that Lin Feng liked antiques. However, the antiques that Lin Feng had submitted before were all small ones, and he had never touched a bronze item. Lin Feng smiled. I'm just curious. I've never touched a bronze item before. If this sword is real, then it's worth this price. I even got a big bargain. Let's go sign the contract after the auction. We still haven't received 4 billion yet, huh? Because all the transactions were done backstage, Lin Feng went backstage after the auction. The person in charge of this auction was a manager of the Tianqi Auction Company. When Lin Feng signed the contract, he told him that he wanted to meet the boss of the Tianqi Auction Company to discuss cooperation. Lin Feng thought that the manager would agree. After all, if such a small auction company could cooperate with a big company, it would be a great help to their project. However, Lin Feng didn't expect that the manager would politely reject him. Lin Feng didn't insist. However, when he heard Mo Tianxing say that the boss of the Tianqi Auction Company was comparable to him, he couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. After all, he had cheated by using the hand of seizing. Naturally, he was much better than others. However, if there was someone who was comparable to him, what was the use of the hand of seizing? This reminded Lin Feng of Shui Qinghan at the treasure appraisal competition. She was the only person he admired. Unfortunately, Shui Qinghan wasn't an ordinary person. If he could find Shui Qinghan, Lin Feng believed that he could persuade Shui Qinghan to tell him about people like him. Chairman Lin, our boss is a little eccentric. Ever since he opened the studio, he rarely shows his face in public. I'm almost always in charge of business cooperation and negotiations. So, if there's anything that's not satisfactory, please forgive us, Chairman Lin. After the manager stamped the Tianqi Auction Company's seal on the contract, he handed the bronze sword to Lin Feng. As for this bronze sword, our boss said that no matter how much it costs, only the fated person can get it. It seems that Chairman Lin is the fated person. Congratulations, Chairman Lin. Of course, Lin Feng didn't take this to heart. This was a skill of being a businessman, especially in the antique business. The cost of an antique was just a little bit, so it wouldn't attract many people, but why could it be sold at such a high price? Wasn't it because of interest? Was it because of faith? Because of history? Therefore, in Lin Feng's eyes, this nonsense about the fated person was just a marketing tactic. If the manager didn't tell him this, how could he feel good about spending so much money to buy a sword? However, in the antique industry one couldn't complain about the high price. After all, this kind of thing had always been a matter of willingness. After getting the bronze sword wrapped in wooden packaging, Lin Feng walked out of the backstage. At this time, Boss Lu had also signed the contract. He walked over with a smile and said apologetically, "Chairman Lin, I'm sorry. I received a call from Chairman Mo at the last minute. She asked me to buy this piece of land saying that you need it. Because the auction has already started, I didn't have time to inform you, so I bought it directly. Let's find a place to transfer the contract." Lin Feng nodded. It seemed that Mo Xiaoyan was really good at messing with him. However, he had to admit that although Mo Xiaoyan had been staying at home all this time, she had helped him a lot at home. For example, this time, if Mo Xiaoyan hadn't helped him buy this piece of land, it would have taken a long time to find a suitable green ecological land, which would have delayed his project. The longer a project was delayed, the company's profits would be lost. After signing the contract with Boss Lu and transferring the ownership of the first green ecological building land, Lin Feng went to find Boss Wu, the owner of the second green ecological building land. According to the agreement between him and Boss Wu, Lin Feng would get 4 billion from the 8 billion price. When Boss Wu saw Lin Feng coming over, the smile on his face disappeared. Anyone would feel the same way. After all, he had to give away 4 billion for 8 billion. If it was Lin Feng and it was irreversible, Lin Feng wouldn't be happy either. However, Boss Wu was a smart man. He knew that if he broke the contract, Lin Feng would be able to make the Qin family bankrupt. If he handed over 4 billion now, he might be able to get some good things in the future. Thinking of this, Boss Wu straightforwardly said, "Boss Lin, I just completed the transaction with their staff. There are 6 billion in this card and the other 2 billion is just a small gift from me. If there is such a thing in the future, I hope Boss Lin can help me more." Lin Feng looked at Boss Wang in surprise. He didn't know what prompted Boss Wang to do such a thing. Originally, they had agreed to split the money in half, which was 4 billion. This guy was quite self-aware and gave half of his 4 billion to Lin Feng. 2 billion was not a small amount for anyone, especially for a stingy person like Boss Wang. He was actually willing to give 2 billion to Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng didn't feel embarrassed about such a gift. He accepted it as a matter of course. Secretary Li and Bamboo Pole were very surprised that Lin Feng could increase the profit of this event by so much. For a businessman, earning 8 billion before the project started was simply a legend. When Lin Feng returned to Yiqing Resort that night, Mo Xiaoyan gave him a hug as soon as he entered the door. "Someone earned a lot today. Is there a bonus?" "Humph, I don't know how long it will take for me to pay back all my shares." Lin Feng carried Mo Xiaoyan to the rocking chair outside. "How was your stock market profit today? I heard that some of the directors in the company were frowning recently. After asking them the reason, I found out that they had lost money. They said that the stock market has been turbulent recently. That's because they are stupid." Mo Xiaoyan rolled her eyes. "Although it is easy to make money in the stock market, you will always be trapped. Many people can't avoid being trapped, so they often lose everything in the stock market. Have you ever seen them frowning? Have you forgotten that when the stock market was turbulent and you suffered losses?" Lin Feng pinched Mo Xiaoyan's little nose. He still remembered that when he had just moved in, Mo Xiaoyan had argued with him for a few days because of a turbulent story. At that time, Lin Feng had no idea why Mo Xiaoyan had argued with him. Mo Qianxing had told him later that if the stock market was turbulent, he shouldn't provoke Mo Xiaoyan. Otherwise, the consequences would be severe. However, Lin Feng saw that Mo Xiaoyan's face was beginning to twitch. This was a sign that Mo Xiaoyan was about to get angry. Lin Feng, who had already known Mo Xiaoyan's temper, quickly said, Hey baby, don't get agitated. What do you want to eat tonight? No matter what you want to eat, I will make it for you." "I want to eat you," Mo Xiaoyan said fiercely. Lin Feng smiled evilly and carried Mo Xiaoyan to the bedroom. "Hey, you want to eat me? If you want to eat me, you should have said so earlier. I will let you eat me now, okay? Bastard, put me down, you bad guy," Mo Xiaoyan exclaimed. "You bad guy, I am on my period today. You can't do this. It's okay. It's okay to run a red light once in a while." Lin Feng smiled evilly and threw Mo Xiaoyan on the soft bed. "Hey, before dinner you are the appetizer." The next day, Lin Feng came to the company with a smile. The project manager of the Green Ecological Project team was already waiting for Lin Feng in the conference room. Lin Feng gave them the blueprint and information of the first green ecological land that he had traded with Mr. Liu the day before. He asked them to start the construction as soon as possible. Chapter 1443. Just as the host was looking at the bald middle-aged man expectantly, hoping that he would raise the price to 550 million, the bald middle-aged man suddenly raised his hand and said something that stunned the host. XNB. I give up. As soon as he said that, the whole audience went into an uproar. No one knew why he gave up. If he just wanted to set the price, he obviously didn't have to say that. That would definitely bring him revenge. Lin Feng was slightly stunned. Could it be that he had encountered the same kind of high prices before? Give up. Although the host was disappointed, he still said in the spirit of professionalism, it's every auction owner's right to give up. Now, 510 million going once, 510 million going twice. The host deliberately paused for a moment, but still no one raised the price, so he could only make the final decision. 510 million sold. The final winner is Mr. Lin, Chairman Lin of Jianfang Real Estate Company. Congratulations to him. The audience applauded warmly. Although this auction item wasn't the most expensive one in the whole auction, Lin Feng deserved to be respected as the finale item. The reason was very simple. It was the rule of the auction. The winner of the finale item deserved to be applauded like this. Congratulations, Chairman Lin. But I didn't see you interested in bronze before. Bamboo Pole didn't say anything, but Secretary Li was a little curious. During this period he stayed by Lin Feng's side almost every day, so he knew that Lin Feng liked antiques. However, the antiques that Lin Feng had submitted before were all small ones, and he had never touched a bronze one before. Lin Feng smiled. I'm just curious. I've never touched a bronze item before. If this sword is real, then it's worth this price. I even got a big bargain. Let's go. After the auction is over, we'll sign the contract. We still have 4 billion left, haha. Because all the transactions were done backstage, Lin Feng went backstage after the auction was over. The person in charge of this auction was a manager of the Tianqi Auction Company. When Lin Feng signed the contract, he told him that he wanted to meet the boss of the Tianqi Auction Company to discuss cooperation. Lin Feng thought that the manager would agree. After all, if a small auction company could cooperate with a big company, it would be a great help to their project. However, Lin Feng didn't expect that the manager would politely reject him. Lin Feng didn't insist, but when he heard Mo Qianxing say that the boss of the Tianqi Auction Company was comparable to him, he couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. After all, he had cheated by using the hand of seizing. Naturally, he was much better than others. However, if there was someone comparable to him, what was the use of the hand of seizing? This reminded Lin Feng of Shui Qinghan at the treasure appraisal competition. She was the only person he admired. Unfortunately, Shui Qinghan wasn't an ordinary person. If he could find Shui Qinghan, Lin Feng believed that he could persuade her to tell him about people like him. Chairman Lin, our boss is a little eccentric. Ever since he opened the studio, he rarely shows his face in public. I'm almost always in charge of business cooperation and negotiations. So, if there's anything that's not satisfactory, please forgive us, Chairman Lin. After the manager of the Tianqi Auction Company stamped the contract, he handed the bronze sword to Lin Feng. And this bronze sword, our boss said that no matter how much it costs, only the fated person can get it. It seems that Chairman Lin is the fated person. Congratulations, Chairman Lin. Of course, Lin Feng didn't take this to heart. This was a skill of being a businessman, especially in the antique business. The cost of an antique was just a little bit, so it wouldn't attract many people, but why could it be sold at such a high price? Wasn't it because of interest? Was it because of faith? Because of history? Therefore, in Lin Feng's eyes, this nonsense about the fated person was just a marketing tactic. If the manager didn't tell him this, how could he feel good after spending so much money to buy a sword? However, in the antique industry, one couldn't complain about the high price. After all, this kind of thing had always been a matter of willingness. After getting the bronze sword wrapped in wooden packaging, Lin Feng walked out of the backstage. At this time, Boss Liu had also signed the contract. He came over with a smile and said apologetically, Chairman Lin, I'm sorry. I received a call from Chairman Mo at the last minute. She asked me to buy this land, saying that you need it. Because the auction has already started, I didn't have time to inform you, so I bought it directly. Let's find a place to transfer the contract. Lin Feng nodded. It seemed that Mo Xiaoyan was really good at messing with him. However, he had to admit that although Mo Xiaoyan had been staying at home all this time, she had helped him a lot at home. For example, this time if Emo Xiaoyan hadn't helped him buy this land, it would have taken a long time to find a suitable green ecological land, which would have delayed his project. The longer a project was delayed, the company's profits would be lost. After signing the contract with Boss Lu and transferring the ownership of the first green ecological building land, Lin Feng went to find Boss Wu, the owner of the second green ecological building land. According to the agreement between him and Boss Wu, Lin Feng would get 4 billion from the 8 billion price. When Boss Wu saw Lin Feng coming over, the smile on his face disappeared. Anyone would feel the same way. After all, he had to give away 4 billion for 8 billion. If it was Lin Feng and it was irreversible, Lin Feng wouldn't be happy either. However, Boss Wu was a smart man. He knew that if he broke the contract, Lin Feng would be able to make the Qin family bankrupt. If he handed over 4 billion now, he might be able to get some good things in the future. Thinking of this, Boss Wu straightforwardly said, "Boss Lin, I just completed the transaction with their staff. There are 6 billion in this card and the other 2 billion is just a small gift from me. If there is such a thing in the future, I hope Boss Lin can help me more." Lin Feng looked at Boss Wang in surprise. He didn't know what prompted Boss Wang to do such a thing. Originally, they had agreed to split the money in half, which was 4 billion. This guy was quite self-aware and gave half of his 4 billion to Lin Feng. 2 billion was not a small amount for anyone, especially for a stingy person like Boss Wang. He was actually willing to give 2 billion to Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng wasn't shy about such a gift. He accepted it as a matter of course. Secretary Li and Bamboo Pole were very surprised that Lin Feng could increase the profit of this event by so much. For a businessman, earning 8 billion before the project started was simply a legend. When Lin Feng returned to Yiqing Resort that night, Emo Xiaoyan gave him a hug as soon as he entered the door. "Someone earned a lot today. Is there a bonus?" "Humph, I don't know how long it will take for me to pay back all the shares." Lin Feng carried Emo Xiaoyan to the rocking chair outside. "How was your stock market profit today? I heard that some of the directors in the company were frowning recently. After asking them the reason, I found out that they had lost money. They said that the stock market has been turbulent recently. That's because they are stupid." Emo Xiaoyan rolled her eyes. "Although it is easy to make money in the stock market, you will always be trapped. Many people can't avoid being trapped, so they often lose everything in the stock market. Have you ever seen them frowning? Have you forgotten that when the stock market was turbulent and you suffered losses?" Lin Feng pinched Emo Xiaoyan's little nose. He still remembered that when he had just moved in, Emo Xiaoyan had argued with him for a few days because of a turbulent story. At that time, Lin Feng had no idea why Emo Xiaoyan had argued with him. Emo Qianxing had told him later that if the stock market was turbulent, he shouldn't provoke Emo Xiaoyan. Otherwise, the consequences would be severe. However, as soon as he said that, Lin Feng saw Emo Xiaoyan's face begin to twitch. This was a sign that Emo Xiaoyan was about to get angry. Lin Feng, who had already known Emo Xiaoyan's temper, quickly said, Hey baby, don't get agitated. What do you want to eat tonight? No matter what you want to eat, I will make it for you." "I want to eat you," Emo Xiaoyan said fiercely. Lin Feng smiled evilly and carried Emo Xiaoyan to the bedroom. "Hey, you want to eat me? If you want to eat me, you should have said so earlier. I will let you eat me now, okay? Bastard, put me down, you bad guy," Emo Xiaoyan exclaimed. "You bad guy, I am on my period today. You can't do this. It's okay. It's okay to run a red light once in a while." Lin Feng smiled evilly and threw Emo Xiaoyan on the soft bed. "Hey, before dinner you are the appetizer." The next day, Lin Feng came to the company with a smile. The project manager of the Green Ecology Project team was already waiting for Lin Feng in the conference room. Lin Feng gave them the blueprint and information of the first green ecological land that he had traded with Mr. Lu the day before. He asked them to start the construction as soon as possible. Chapter 1445. After Evil Soldier gave the order, the Evil Soldier Legion moved to the front of the battlefield. After breaking into the Black-Yellow Great World, Evil Soldier also wanted to use the fast tactics. He also knew that the longer the time passed, the more prepared the Black-Yellow Great World would be. However, the facts did not allow him to do so. He had to stabilize the rear first. The cultivators of the Cuddlebugs in the Devil Blood realm still had to release the Devil Blood Evil Bugs. Therefore, the fast tactics could not be used. As soon as the Evil Soldier Legion moved, the Xuanhuan Great World's allied forces quickly met the enemy. The Lords of Heaven's camp also moved. Night Sorrow stood on the back of Ice Kylan and went to the front of the battlefield. At the moment, The Evil Soldier Legion also came to the edge of the dark energy and confronted the Allied forces. The Evil Soldier Legion was very strong and its structure was different from that of a normal legion. It had 20 troops, which was not much weaker than the Allied forces. Moreover, there were many Lords of Heaven, 12 of them. The Evil Soldier Legion was led by a Lord of Heaven and had 2 guards at the Lord of Heaven realm. In the last confrontation, Evil Soldier did not fight. Half of the Legion moved forward while the other half stabilized the rear. Therefore, although the Xuanhuan Great World's Legion was defeated, it did not suffer a great loss. This time, after the rear was stabilized, Evil Soldier led all his men to fight. With the arrival of Evil Soldier, the Evil Soldier Legion separated. An evil soldier riding a wolf appeared. Our numbers have increased a lot. It's meaningless to have more ants. In a word, do you surrender or not? I'll kill you until you do. If you don't, I'll kill you all. Evil Soldier pointed his saber at the ground and said. Tang Jianfeng stood out and said, Evil can't win over righteousness. There is still righteousness in this vast world. You want to run amok? Not enough. Righteousness also depends on the size of the fist. Are your fists big enough? You can't even defeat the sovereigns under my command. What's the use of fists? Evil Soldier snorted. You're too arrogant. Come out and fight. Lord of Heaven Jianghu was irritated by Evil Soldier's arrogant words. You're just a garbage sky-devouring tiger. Come out and I'll skin you. Evil Soldier waved his saber and said. Before anyone could stop him, Lord of Heaven Jianghu flew out and chopped at Evil Soldier with his saber. Evil Soldier shook his body and flew toward Lord of Heaven Jianghu. When they were more than 100 feet away, Evil Soldier had a special aura. Everyone could feel an energy wrapped around the Great Way of Heaven to suppress Lord of Heaven Jianghu. Then the Evil Soldier rushed up and slashed at him. Being suppressed by this aura, Heaven Lord Jianghu's aura dissipated, and his strength dropped by more than 30%. As the two's battle blades clashed, there was a loud explosion. Heaven Lord Jianghu was sent flying by Xie Bing's blade and was sent flying far away. Immediately after, Xie Bing rushed up and slashed down with his battle blade. Being suppressed by Xie Bing's heavenly Tao, Heaven Lord Jianghu was in a bad state. His own strength was greatly suppressed. He was already weaker than Xie Bing to begin with, and now he was even weaker. There was no way he could fight back, not even a little bit. This won't do. The Sea Monarch's expression was solemn because everyone could see that Lord Jianghu was not capable of this. The situation was very serious. Lord of Heaven God who had an illustrious reputation in the divine martial great world. Although Bai Taiching's mishap had occurred, no one could deny his strength. He was one of the top cultivators among the Lord of Heaven. After pondering for a moment, the Sea King Manor's Lord also made his move. Together with Lord Jianghu, they fought against the evil soldiers. However, the result did not change much. As long as Xie Bing's aura was suppressed, he could easily send Heaven Lord Jianghu and the Sea King Manor's Lord flying with a casual blow. I'll go and help. You guys start fighting. We Heaven Lords have the upper hand. If we can kill, we'll kill, Tang Jianfeng shouted and joined the battle. The three of them worked together to fight against Xie Bing. You guys are not convinced today. No matter how many come, I'll kill them all. Xie Bing's attack became more violent. Unable to resist, Heaven Lord Jianghu and the Sea King Manor's Lord sent out their doppelgangers to restrain Xie Bing's attack. When Tang Jianfeng shouted for everyone to start fighting, the group battle began. The evil soldier army had 12 Heaven Lords, but the allied forces were not weak either. Originally, the Black-Yellow Great World had more than 10 Heaven Lords. Now that the Xinwu Great World and the Black-Yellow Great World had come to help, they had the advantage in terms of numbers. Tang Jianfeng did not ask Night Sorrow to join the battle. Therefore, Night Sorrow could not fight against Xie Bing directly. Now that the battle had begun, Night Sorrow charged toward a Heaven Lord. It was a fierce battle. Dachura and Sandalwood both attacked a Heaven Lord. Sandalwood and Dachura were the top experts among the Heaven Lords in the Black-Yellow Great World. Only Heaven Lord Yuan Dao and Qing Emperor could compete with them. The Mandela surrounded a Heaven Monarch while the Sandalwood attacked violently, clashing fiercely with the opponent. Sandalwood had never cultivated a doppelganger before. She wanted her original body to achieve something. After entering the Heaven Lord realm, Night Sorrow and the others persuaded her to cultivate a doppelganger. However, it would take a long time for her to succeed. It was a fierce battle. People were dying all the time. After all, the Allied forces' legions were not as good as the 9 Heaven Legions in teamwork and defense. The Heaven Lords fighting Night Sorrow were attacking fiercely. However, they were useless against Night Sorrow. All the members of the Evil Soldier Legion had strong bodies and were good at close combat. Night Sorrow was also good at close combat. The battle was fierce. After a while, Night Sorrow's doppelganger left his original body and performed a unique skill with him. Night Sorrow's original body performed the Great Emperor Samsara Slash while his doppelganger performed the Great Death Slash. Together they charged toward the armored opponent. As the Great Death Slash's colored and purple halos shrouded the armored opponent, Night Sorrow's body froze. He fell into a daze. Obviously he was not good at soul defense. The moment the opponent fell into a daze, Night Sorrow's Samsara and Space Splitter attacked the opponent's body at the same time. The energy in the two swords exploded instantly. The special energy in the Samsara even attacked the armored man's spiritual sea. Night Sorrow's original body rushed forward. His right hand kept shaking the Samsara. The void energy exploded in the opponent's body, making him lose the ability to resist. While the original body controlled and continued to damage the opponent, Night Sorrow's doppelganger pulled out the Space Splitter and performed the Void Extreme Kill. It pierced through the back of the armored man's head. Penetrated through. Even though the armored man's cultivation was high and his body was strong, he could not block Night Sorrow's Void Extreme Kill. After being penetrated by Night Sorrow's doppelganger's Space Splitter, his spiritual sea and infant soul were also shattered. There was no chance of survival. N3G Network Premier Night Sorrow was worried that the opponent's body was strong and had reached the Undying Realm. After killing him, he swung his arm and put the corpse into his storage ring. A Heaven Lord had fallen. The first Heaven Lord had fallen since the start of this realm war. Since you've come to our server, I'll kill all of you first. Yi Shang charged towards another heavenly monarch. Chapter 1446. Some of the Heaven Lords of the Black-Yellow Great World's allied army knew how to use soul attacks. However, their bodies were not strong enough, so they would be pushed back as soon as they exchanged blows. Even if they used soul attacks, the distance was not enough. After using soul attacks, they would rush forward again, and the enemy would realize it. Thus, they would not be able to kill or even seriously injure the enemy. But now this rule was broken by Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's body was strong, and he used two unique skills at the same time. Therefore he killed the enemy. It's you, not a Heaven Lord. You defeated a Heaven Lord. Xie Bing knew who Night Sorrow was. Before the battle, he did not notice Night Sorrow, mainly because Night Sorrow did not release his fighting intent. Now that Night Sorrow killed one of his generals, he understood. Stop him and let Night Sorrow increase his victory. Tang Jianfeng shouted. At this time, his doppelganger was severely injured, but it was still worth it to kill a Heaven Lord from the Evil Soldier army. At this time, Night Sorrow took down a relatively weak Heaven Lord from the Black-Yellow Great World, and then he attacked violently. His willpower, laws, and body were not inferior. In fact, they were even stronger. These advantages were enough to make up for Night Sorrow's lack of energy. Night Sorrow was suppressing this Heaven Monarch from the Evil Soldier Legion. The only YB, the other 9 are GT, is a pirated version. In just a moment, this Heaven Lord was killed by Night Sorrow's original body and doppelganger using their unique skills at the same time. After the death of two Heaven Lords, Xie Bing became anxious. He was besieged by Tang Jianfeng, Heaven Lord Xinhu, and the Sea King Mansion's master. Although he could injure his opponents, he could not kill them. However, if this went on, his Heaven Lords would not be able to hold on. Retreat into the Devil Blood Qi. Xie Bing shouted. He could not afford to lose a Heaven Lord general. The army of evil soldiers retreated, and Tang Jianfeng also gave the order to stop the pursuit. After entering the Devil Blood Qi, the combat power of the cultivators of the Shenhuang Ocean World's allied army would decrease, and they would be easily killed. Just as Tang Jianfeng shouted, the evil weapon suddenly erupted. Its imposing aura rushed towards the avatar of the Sea King Prefecture. Then, its body flickered and the saber in its hand slashed continuously, blocking Tang Jianfeng and Lord of Heaven Godhood. The saber went straight for the neck of the avatar. As the saber light vibrated, the head of the avatar was shattered. Fall from grace. After killing the avatar of the Sea King Prefecture's master, Xie Bing's body flickered and left the battle. At this time, everyone in the Evil Soldier Legion, including the Lord of Heaven, had retreated. If he did not retreat, he would be besieged. After the evil soldiers retreated, Dachura came to Night Sorrow's side. Are you okay? It's all right. The result is still acceptable. I killed two Heaven Monarchs. Night Sorrow said. He was quite conflicted. If the avatar of the Sea King Prefecture's master had not been killed, then today's victory would have been theirs. Now, it could only be said that they had gained a slight advantage. After the army of evil soldiers retreated, the allied army of the Shenhuang Great World naturally returned to their original positions to defend. Night Sorrow and the others also returned to the command tent. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, all the Heaven Monarchs cupped their hands to greet Night Sorrow. This is not a good situation. We can't resist that guy. His combat power is too strong. The energy contained in his body surpasses ours. Coupled with the special heavenly Tao's imposing aura, we are no match for him at all, Lord of Heaven Godhood said. Valley Lord High, this time it's my fault for not commanding properly. I caused you to lose one of your avatars. Tang Jianfeng said. He knew that there was a mistake in the allocation of personnel. If Night Sorrow had been assigned to resist the evil soldiers, perhaps things would not have turned out this way. City Lord, you think too much. This time it's our game to kill 2 Heaven Monarchs. Not bad. The Sea King Prefecture's master gave Night Sorrow a thumbs up. Night Sorrow, you have seen this situation. The next time this guy appears, you will have to take action. We really can't resist it, Tang Jianfeng said. There was nothing he could do. The 3 of them, including their avatars, did not gain the upper hand in the battle against the evil soldiers. One of the avatars of the Sea King Prefecture's master was even killed. Okay, everything will be arranged by the city lord. Night Sorrow nodded. He originally wanted to fight the evil soldiers today, but Tang Jianfeng did not make any arrangements. After that, Night Sorrow, Datura, and Sandalwood returned to Night Sorrow's tent. This group of guys is really strong. It's hard to deal with them, Sandalwood said. She had the upper hand in the battle, but she could not kill them. These demons are completely different from the demons of the Dark Abyss. The demons of the Dark Abyss are not as evil as them, and their bodies are not as tough, Datura said. If we can hold on, it will be a war of attrition. We have to be prepared for that, Night Sorrow said. As he said this, Night Sorrow probed his divine sea to check on Shao Kong's situation. Without the space-time pagoda he could not speed up. Some things that required time could only be put aside for Night Sorrow. For example, refining the soul cultivation liquid took a long time. After probing, Night Sorrow found that the space-time pagoda, which was the Haotian godly pagoda, was still self-repairing. The energy light at the connection between the space-time pagoda and the immortal pavilion of creation was getting weaker and weaker. When it completely disappeared, the repair was complete. After Night Sorrow killed the 2 Lords of Heaven, he also gained merit from the Black-Yellow Great World. However, he was still a bit away from becoming a merit Supreme Saint. Night Sorrow, it's not easy to kill a Lord of Heaven opponent. Today you completed a double kill. Now everyone in our 3 great worlds knows about it, Datura said. What she wanted most was to see her husband become famous. Yishang smiled. He was very happy in his heart as well. To be able to kill a Heaven Monarch as a martial monarch with the cultivation of a martial monarch was an achievement that no one had ever achieved before. At this moment, Night Sorrow was happy. However, Evil Soldier was furious. This was because he had lost 2 Lords of Heaven in this battle. He only had 12 Lords of Heaven under his command. Lord, what's the situation with that guy? Isn't he just a monarch? Shattered Moon, who was wearing armor, asked. He is a monarch who has cultivated the battle intent. Most importantly, he is a supreme attribute cultivator. Therefore you have no chance of winning against him, Evil Soldier said. Shattered Moon nodded. Evil Soldier's words made sense. He understood after thinking for a while. Besides, he had seen Night Sorrow's strength. Only by killing him can we advance smoothly, Evil Soldier said. Then he arranged for someone to count the losses of the army. Night Sorrow also went to the 9 Heavens army to take a look. The 9 Heavens army had suffered some losses, but it was not serious. More than 20 soldiers had died, but they had killed more enemies. The next few days were very peaceful, which surprised Night Sorrow. He wanted to fight now. As long as he killed a few more Lords of Heaven from the Devil Blood domain, his merit would increase and he would become a merit Supreme Saint. It was not that Evil Soldier did not want to fight. However, this time the Evil Soldier army had suffered a great loss. They had to rest before they could continue fighting. Chapter 1447. When the doppelganger was slain and its soul was annihilated, it was a heavy blow to the soul of the main body. Night Sorrow gave the Sea King Prefecture's governor a spirit-replenishing pill that could heal the soul to the greatest extent. The Sea King Prefecture's governor expressed his gratitude for Night Sorrow's gift of the pill. Yishang, this isn't the first time I've owed you a favor. If there's a chance, I'll return it all. The blonde sea monarch picked up the wine pot in front of him and poured a cup for Yishang. Cool 3 songs / hair, Lord Prefecture's governor is too courteous. Everyone is working hard for the realm war. If you can contribute, we'll do our best, Night Sorrow said. He was originally worried that the Sea King Prefecture's governor would be affected by the death of his doppelganger. Now it seemed that there was no problem. If everyone has the same idea, we won't have to worry about winning the realm war. Perhaps such a realm war will be a good thing for our 3 world groups. We'll be able to get along more harmoniously. The Sea King Prefecture's governor smiled. Night Sorrow nodded. With external pressure, our 3 world groups' cultivation will be more harmonious and motivated. It'll be fine as long as the crisis at hand is resolved. At this time, Tang Jianfeng and Lord Shenhu also came to the Sea King Prefecture's governor. Everyone was casually chatting. The main reason for my doppelganger's death was that I couldn't resist the suppression of the heavenly Tao by the evil demon commander. This is the difference between us heavenly monarch realm cultivators and half-step imperial realm cultivators. The Sea King Prefecture's governor summarized the root cause of his loss. I've heard that in order to enter the 9th rank, one must have an understanding of the force. However, we can't do it. The cultivation techniques we cultivate can only reach the heavenly monarch realm. Energy cultivation is secondary. The advancement of this realm is the most difficult problem, Tang Jianfeng said. Understanding is hard to come by. Do you have any good ideas for the next battle, City Lord Tang? Lord Shenhu looked at Tang Jianfeng. Tang Jianfeng turned to look at Night Sorrow. Next time, Night Sorrow, try to see if you can hold on. If you can, then the rest of us can fight without any worries. If you can't, then we'll continue to use today's strategy. We'll continue to send people to surround and kill the demon commander while you go kill the other generals and expand our gains. Sure. Night Sorrow nodded. You don't have to feel pressured. It's fine even if you can't hold on. You have already eliminated 2 heaven monarchs, and your killing speed is much faster than that evil devil commander. We will take turns to besiege the evil devil commander. Even if we have to sacrifice our lives, we will be able to wipe out all their evil devil commanders. Lord of Heaven Shenhu said. His words revealed his violent character. Not everyone had the courage to exchange a life for a life. Haha, that's the plan. The Wuling Mountain Master also came to the tent of the Sea King Prefecture Master. In the next battle, Night Sorrow and I will deal with the demon commander. Killing power is not my strong suit, but I have no problem tanking it. We were too careless this time. We didn't notice that he would be ruthless at the end of the battle, so we didn't have time to help. Sea King, he will pay the price, the Wuling Mountain Master said as he entered the tent. The Sea King Prefecture Master was the Grand Elder of the Shenhuang City, and the Wuling Mountain Master was the Elder of Law Enforcement. The 2 of them had a close relationship, so the Wuling Mountain Master was very angry when the Sea King Prefecture Master's doppelganger was destroyed. Okay, it's decided. Wuling, you cooperate with Night Sorrow next time and try to block that guy. Shenhu, we will ask the Dark Dominator to kill one of them together. It's better to cut off an arm than to injure 10 fingers, Tang Jianfeng said. After the tactical arrangement was decided, Night Sorrow left after chatting with everyone for a while. He just had to do his own thing. As for whether he could stop the evil soldiers, Night Sorrow didn't know. It mainly depended on whether his golden body of merits could ignore the suppression of the heavenly Tao by the evil devil commander after he activated it. If he could, then it would be no problem. He could hold on and fight. If he couldn't, then he would have to use the second tactic mentioned by Tang Jianfeng. Night Sorrow returned to his tent and talked with Dechira and Sandalwood about Tang Jianfeng and the others' tactical ideas. This is the right tactic. It mainly depends on whether you can stop the evil devil commander. If you can, then the situation is very optimistic. If you can't, then you can only risk your life and fight to the death, Dechira said. Junior brother, you have to be careful. This is not your battle alone. Just do your best, Sandalwood said. Night Sorrow, my original body will come as well. The situation is not very optimistic. We have to do our best, Dechira looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow was a bit reluctant. If something happened to the original body, then it would be a big problem. Seeing Night Sorrow's concern, Dechira smiled and said, I am the Dark Dominator, not an ordinary weak woman. Besides, if there is a risk, let the doppelganger bear it. Since Dechira said so, Night Sorrow could only nod and agree. The situation was still very stable. Evil Soldier also had to think about how to solve the current situation. When he attacked, the Heaven Monarchs of the Black-Yellow Great World would join forces to restrain him. His heaven monarchs could not stop Night Sorrow's attacks. Stalemate. The war had entered a stalemate. For both sides the war was difficult. Therefore no one rushed to attack. Datura's original body arrived. The Qing Emperor's doppelganger and Yu Fei also came to the battlefield. The Red Emperor and Sima Tianqing also arrived. Tang Jianfeng and the Wuling Mountain Master also expressed their gratitude. At present, one side was facing difficulties from all sides. Tang Jianfeng also told everyone about the current situation and difficulties. The key point was whether Night Sorrow could stop the evil devil commander. Night Sorrow did not participate in the discussion. He just watched the commanders of the Nine Heaven Troop and the Demon Blood Troop cultivate the combined attack formation every day. Datura, Sandalwood, Misty Rain and the other heaven monarchs of the world of Samsara also cultivated the combined attack formation. This was proposed by Night Sorrow. The main reason was to increase their survivability. Night Sorrow was worried about the future. At present, the crisis had been revealed. No one knew about the unknown danger. No one knew what kind of strength the enemy would have in the future. People had to be aware of the danger. Everyone supported Night Sorrow's proposal because it was a good thing. The atmosphere of killing pervaded the battlefield. However, everyone was not as stressed as before because the Allied forces were much stronger than before. Feeling that the enemy would not make a move easily, Night Sorrow started to strengthen his body with the White Tiger Essence blood. The soul and the body were the two foundations of a cultivator. Night Sorrow's soul defense was almost unbreakable. The Supreme Origin bead could protect his soul from any harm. What he pursued now was to continue to strengthen his body. After using Night Sorrow's spirit refilling elixir, the Sea King Prefecture Master had almost recovered. Tang Jianfeng and Lord of Heaven Shinhu's doppelganger had also recovered. Everyone was waiting for the second battle. Chapter 1448. This is fate. Perhaps this is the only way to conform to the rules of the heavenly Tao. Only when there is pressure can there be motivation. Always having a sense of crisis is also the motivation to rise, Qing Emperor said. I envy you. The two of us rose from obscurity. Let's not talk about our own level, but when it comes to taking in disciples, I'm far behind you, Tang Jianfeng said. This is also fate. I almost died some time ago. You know that, Qing Emperor said with a smile. Tang Jianfeng nodded. Fate was the most elusive thing. Tang Jianfeng knew that the Qing Emperor had been injured by the celestial sect and had almost died. But now he had improved his cultivation again. Inside the commander's tent in the Devil Blood Chi, Evil Bing could not wait any longer. The current situation was very unfavorable for him. The reinforcements from the Black-Yellow Great World kept coming. More and more Lords of Heaven were coming. He knew they were the reinforcements from the other two world groups. Your Honor, we have to act as soon as possible. If this continues, their defense will become tighter and tighter. Shattered Moon was somewhat unable to remain calm. Okay, get ready and continue the battle. Also, send someone back to inform Lai Bingzun to come over as soon as he comes out of seclusion. We will crush them directly. Out of habit, Evil Soldier held his saber in his right hand and thought about it. Magic Dragon, the ruler of the demonic blood weave, had two disciples, Demonic Blade Xie Bing and Sky Blade Lai Bing. Both of them were half-step emperors. Currently, Sky Blade Lai Bing was still in seclusion, so Xie Bing was in charge of conquering the Chaos Realm. Night Sorrow was still cultivating. The blood of the White Tiger was powerful. It kept corroding Night Sorrow's flesh and bones. Even though he was a monarch, Night Sorrow was still in great pain. Night Sorrow had not sweated for many years, but now sweat was dripping down his cheeks. Datura, who was also in the tent, was worried and distressed. She knew very well what Night Sorrow was cultivating. Night Sorrow's situation was different from Qing Emperor's. The Qing Emperor's body had the evil dragon's venomous centipede and White Tiger's blood, so he could counteract the effects of the evil dragon's venomous centipede. F Yong 8 Jiu Fi, I look at C3 say I. However, Night Sorrow was different. He relied entirely on his physical body to resist. He absorbed the energy of the White Tiger's blood essence to strengthen his half-energized physical body. Night Sorrow cultivated while Datura accompanied him inside the tent. Sandalwood sat outside the tent with her saber in her arms. At this moment, no one could disturb Night Sorrow. The process was very painful, but Night Sorrow felt that absorbing the White Tiger's blood essence was very beneficial to his body. After cultivating for 4 days, Night Sorrow woke up from his meditative state. How is it? Datura asked Night Sorrow. The effect is very good. My body's strength has increased by quite a bit. I will slowly study it when I have time. I will go take a bath and change my clothes first. Night Sorrow flew out of the tent and found a water source to take a bath before returning to the tent. Let's fight. I want to see how powerful a practitioner who is half a step away from the Imperial realm is. Night Sorrow wanted to know the gap between him and the evil demon commander. As Night Sorrow wished, on the third day after Night Sorrow finished his cultivation, Xie Bing led his evil army to fight again. The evil army in the demonic blood chi was very imposing. Similarly, the killing aura between heaven and earth was also very strong. Riding on a demonic wolf, Xie Bing waved the saber in his hand, pointed at the allied army of the black-yellow great world and roared, "Didn't you fight a group battle last time? Today I will play with you again. Get out here." Xie Bing planned to destroy the momentum of the allied army of the black-yellow great world first. He wanted to kill one or two people quickly. For this plan he activated his protective armor. He wanted to kill one or two lords of heaven of the allied army of the black-yellow great world regardless of his defense. He believed in his defensive power. With the armor he did not need to worry about being hit by one or two attacks. At this moment, Xie Bing's momentum was very strong because no one here was a match for him. He had the right to be arrogant. Tang Jianfeng and the others all looked at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and rode the ice Qilin out of the camp of the allied army of the black-yellow great world. A practitioner who is half a step away from becoming a monarch. Let me try. Xie Bing knew that Night Sorrow was the key figure, but he still slandered him. Is there no one else in the allied army? Why did they send you here? Night Sorrow looked at Xie Bing and said, "You're wrong. I said I'm a weakling because our allied army doesn't need a real master. Maybe I can do it as a monarch. Why can't you afford to play with me?" At this moment, Night Sorrow was very relaxed. He had confidence in himself. Even if he could not withstand it, it was impossible for Xie Bing to kill him. At this moment he was wearing the 9 heavy armors. In addition to his strong physical defense, ordinary injuries were ineffective. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. I'll kill anyone who stands in my way. Xie Bing soared into the sky and pounced on Night Sorrow with the momentum of the way of the heavens. He was like an eagle soaring into the sky. Night Sorrow's feet shook and his body also soared into the sky. When Xie Bing's momentum of the way of the heavens swept over, Night Sorrow's fighting spirit burst out and resisted the pressure of the momentum of the way of the heavens. Not enough. Night Sorrow found that his fighting spirit had been fully released, but only a part of the suppression was offset. Half of it was still pressing toward him. Merit's immortal body. Night Sorrow operated the power of time in his body and activated the Merit's immortal body. A gray energy shield appeared, followed by a golden light. The pressure of the momentum of the way of the heavens was directly blocked and could not get close to him. Releasing his fighting spirit and activating the Merit's immortal body, Night Sorrow completely blocked the momentum of the way of the heavens released by Xie Bing. At this moment, Xie Bing's saber had also arrived in front of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's right hand shook and the samsara slashed out against Xie Bing's saber. With a loud explosion, Night Sorrow's body flew backward. Similarly, Xie Bing's body was also pushed back. With one move, although Night Sorrow was pushed back, so was Xie Bing. This showed that Night Sorrow was indeed at a disadvantage, but it was not a situation where he was crushed. Then, Night Sorrow and Xie Bing flew forward and charged at each other again. Their weapons slashed at each other. With another explosion, the two of them kept retreating. Although Xie Bing was strong and could suppress Night Sorrow, it could only suppress him. It could only send Night Sorrow flying, but it could not injure him. The two of them flipped in the air and energy sputtered in all directions. Night Sorrow did not use his doppelganger. If he had a doppelganger, he would have to consider the defense of two bodies, which would be a big loophole. He stabilized, someone from the Sea King's palace said. The current situation had made everyone feel more at ease. They had been afraid that Night Sorrow would be defeated in 2 or 3 moves if he went up. Now that Night Sorrow was able to remain undefeated, that was enough. Then what are we waiting for? Kill them all. The hot-tempered Lord of Heaven Shinhu roared and rushed toward Xie Bing's army. Yes, what are we waiting for? Tang Jianfeng also moved. Retreat, all of you retreat. Xie Bing shouted. He was restrained by Night Sorrow. In the remaining battle, the Lord of Heaven of Evil army was no match for the Xuanhuan Great World's allied army. Chapter 1449. Oh, update and new F and quickest hashtag because of the difference in realm, the energy contained in the body was different. Every time Night Sorrow clashed with the evil soldier, he would be pushed back or even sent flying. Fortunately, Night Sorrow's body was strong. After being pushed back or sent flying, he would instantly launch a second attack. He was on par with the evil soldier. Night Sorrow didn't use any trump card because he knew that he couldn't kill the evil soldier now. The difference between the two was too big. Even if he used his trump card, it would be useless. The evil soldier army retreated into the devil blood energy. The two sides didn't fight, and the heaven monarchs of the Alliance army also retreated. In order to avoid being surrounded again, the evil soldier slashed Night Sorrow back and used the rebound force to reach the edge of the devil blood energy. Standing on the back of the devil wolf, the evil soldier stared at Night Sorrow with a pair of gloomy eyes. "What's your name? Stay if you have the guts." "Night Sorrow, you don't have to tell me if I have the guts or not. If you dare to come out, I dare to fight. Isn't this enough to prove the problem?" Night Sorrow swung Samsara and said, "I will definitely kill you in the future." The evil soldier threw down a sentence and turned back into the devil blood energy. Night Sorrow flashed and landed on the back of the ice Qilin, returning to the Alliance camp. "How is it?" Datura went to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow flashed and jumped off the back of the ice Qilin. He went to Datura's side and said, "Very good. It's just that my arms are numb from the impact." After hearing Night Sorrow's words, everyone felt relieved. They had been worried that Night Sorrow might have internal injuries. They were worried that he might look fine on the surface but was injured internally. "Good. If you can withstand it, then we can hold on. There won't be any problem." Tang Jianfeng was a little excited. If Night Sorrow could withstand the enemy's strongest expert, then the following battle would be easy to fight. Night Sorrow waved his arm and Samsara flew into the sheath behind him. He then stretched his arms. His condition was excellent. After fighting for a while, there were no debuffs. After Night Sorrow exchanged a few pleasantries with everyone, he returned to his tent. As for the other heaven monarchs, they went to the main tent to discuss the countermeasures. Sandalwood, Datura, and Night Sorrow returned to Night Sorrow's tent. Datura was Night Sorrow's wife, while Sandalwood was Night Sorrow's senior brother. They were also best friends. "Junior brother, you fought very steadily today. However, both of you did not use any of your ultimate moves. You have to be more careful the next time you fight," Zhan Tan said. "Thank you for your reminder, senior brother. I'll be careful. I don't ask for anything else. I just want to hold him back. If I can't kill him, there's no need for me to use my ultimate skill." Night Sorrow explained the reason why he didn't use his ultimate skill. "Yes. If you can't kill him, there's no need for you to use your ultimate skill. Using your ultimate skill will consume a lot of energy. Your energy is not as abundant as his, so it's important to control and conserve your energy," Datura said. Night Sorrow nodded. As for energy consumption, he wasn't afraid. He had Leakless real body, so he could control his energy well. After this battle, everyone was very happy. This battle showed that the Xinhuang Great Worlds Alliance army could withstand the Devil Blood Domain's attack. It was enough for them to fight head-on without being at a disadvantage. Tang Jianfeng and the others drank tea together and discussed the next battle plan. "It took 5 or 6 of our original body's clones to fight against the Devil Commander, but Night Sorrow did it all by himself. In the group of 3 great worlds, he became the #1 expert with the cultivation of a monarch." "How domineering," Heaven Monarch Xinhu said with some emotion. "Heaven Monarch Xinhu, you're exaggerating." "Night Sorrow did what he should have done," Qing Emperor said. "You and your disciple cultivate the way of gentlemen and do what gentlemen should do. We understand that you're being modest, but facts are facts. Today's battle proved that his defensive skills are strong. That day he killed 2 heaven monarchs, which proves that his attack power is fierce." "That's not enough," Heaven Monarch Xinhu said. "Haha, Qing Emperor, don't be modest on behalf of Night Sorrow. That by Taesong made everyone helpless, but in the end, Night Sorrow killed him. Which one of us could do the same?" 3 Sons Heaven Monarch said. "He's still young. He still has a long way to go," Qing Emperor Xinhu said. He didn't want to erase his disciple's reputation. He just wanted Night Sorrow's path to be a little smoother. This is what we're all envious of. We've all reached a bottleneck and it's difficult for us to increase our strength. Night Sorrow, on the other hand, is a mid-level monarch. There's a lot of room for improvement, Wuling Mountain Master said. Night Sorrow, Datura, and Zhan Tan drank tea and chatted casually. "Aluo, my cultivation can still increase. Do you think they can start a war soon?" Night Sorrow looked at Datura and asked. Just don't go into deep seclusion. It won't affect anything if you cultivate normally, Datura said. I plan to use the White Tiger Essence blood to cultivate and increase my body's strength. My body's strength is my biggest advantage against that demon commander, Night Sorrow said. Datura nodded. At that moment, Qing Emperor entered Night Sorrow's tent and handed a bottle of White Tiger Essence blood to Night Sorrow. Master, you're not using it? Night Sorrow looked at Qing Emperor and asked. You gave me 2 bottles. I used one to detoxify and combine the poisonous centipede dragon. Without the poisonous centipede dragon in my body, I can't use it. I can't afford it, Qing Emperor said with a smile. Then I'll take it. Night Sorrow nodded and took back the White Tiger Essence blood. After Night Sorrow used 1 bottle, he still had 4 bottles of White Tiger Essence blood. He was worried that it wouldn't be enough. His body could still withstand the strengthening of the White Tiger Essence blood. He hadn't reached his limit yet. Stay calm. As long as you can stay calm, there's nothing you can't do. Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and said. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. At that moment, in the command tent in the demon blood, Evil Soldier crushed a cup. Supreme Lord, what's up with that guy? Broken Moon didn't understand. We were unlucky. We met a cultivator who cultivated both body and chi. His body was at the same level as his chi. They were both in the monarch realm. In terms of body strength, I'm not as good as him. I can only rely on my higher realm and abundant true chi to suppress him. However, I can't completely suppress him because he has the supreme attribute, Evil Soldier muttered. He wasn't explaining to Broken Moon, but actually he was explaining to himself why he didn't win. Broken Moon didn't say anything. He knew that Night Sorrow had used his battle will and virtuous body to block Evil Soldier's suppression of heaven and earth. In other words, Evil Soldier had no advantage over Night Sorrow. I didn't use my ultimate move this time because I didn't want him to be on guard. I wanted to succeed in one strike, Evil Soldier said. Broken Moon nodded. He also knew this. Is there any news from my senior brother? Evil Soldier looked at Broken Moon. Lai Bingzuan hasn't come out of seclusion yet. He probably needs more time, Broken Moon reported. Chapter 1450. The Devil Blood Domain started the Realm War because the Demon Blood World's lifespan was reaching its end. They started the Realm War to plunder the Origin Energy and recharge the Demon Blood World's Origin Energy. Previously, the Devil Blood Domain had already succeeded in plundering a domain. However, they encountered a problem when attacking the Primal Chaos Domain this time. Waiting for an opportunity, Xie Bing felt that it was meaningless to continue attacking now. He had to stabilize himself before attacking and killing Night Sorrow when he least expected it. Night Sorrow started cultivating again. His true body cultivated in the tent while his clone did what he was supposed to do. Night Sorrow did not like to stay with the older generation of Heaven Monarchs. He often went to the God-slaying team to drink with his brothers or chat with Hai Ling, Tang Bo, Tang Xin, Tang Yi Junhua, and the others. In the beginning, Hai Ling and the others were very restrained because Yi Shang wasn't on the same level as them. Even the Heaven Monarchs were very respectful to Yi Shang. They didn't even have the qualifications to talk to Yi Shang. However, Night Sorrow did not see it that way. He interacted with people not based on cultivation but on friendship and feelings. If you were a friend, it was fine even if you did not have cultivation. If you were not a friend, he would ignore you even if you were a Heaven Monarch. The God-slaying team became a gathering place for young people. They cultivated together and drank together. I envy them so much. Tang Jianfeng, who was standing outside the command tent, said to Qing Emperor with some emotion. Haha, the world of young people. Qing Emperor nodded. He liked Night Sorrow's temperament. No matter how much he improved, his temperament remained the same. Your disciple has a wife. Why don't I betroth my daughter to him? Tang Jianfeng said with a smile. You think too much. My daughter is still unmarried. If possible, it will not be your turn. Qing Emperor glanced at Tang Jianfeng. Haha, you are also conflicted. Then let's not talk about it. Let's go for a drink. Tang Jianfeng realized that Qing Emperor was more conflicted than him and was instantly happy. At the same time, he admired Qing Emperor even more. In the world of cultivation, the master was like a father, and the disciple would naturally obey the master's orders. However, Qing Emperor had not made such a request. Night Sorrow had done so out of respect. The situation was very stable. The original body of the Qing Emperor and the 2 Heaven Monarchs of the Evil Valley had also arrived at the Black-Yellow Great World. This meant that the Black-Yellow Great World was fully supporting this realm war. However, this situation also led to another incident. Ling Tian launched a war and attacked Samsara City at lightning speed. He closed the teleportation formation immediately and prevented the Qing Emperor and the others from coming back to help. Such a sudden incident caught everyone off guard. Qing Emperor and the others sat together to discuss how to solve this problem. Currently, only the original body of Lord of Heaven Lu Xiang is present in the world of Samsara. She can't stop Ling Tian and the others, the Qing Emperor said. Let's defend ourselves first. Then we'll think of a way to reinforce them, Night Sorrow said. Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord was still in the reincarnation great world. However, no one dared to go up. Yongjiu read 5 novels for free. Night Sorrow, Ling Tian has a huge grudge against us. Qing Emperor's city may not be safe, the Qing Emperor said to Night Sorrow. The soldiers of the 9 Heaven Army have clones. Pass on our orders. Everyone who is hostile to the Celestial Sect should retreat to the 9 Heaven World Group first, Night Sorrow said. Then orders were issued one after another. Samsara City had fallen and the Celestial Sect had to stabilize, so they had some time to retreat. Everyone, our families and relatives are in the greatest danger now. The 9 Heaven World Group where I was born is more stable. If it's still not enough, retreat to the 9 Domain World. They can't break into the 9 Domain World no matter what. We'll think about counterattacking after we stabilize, Night Sorrow said. Half a day later, Lord of Heaven Lu Xiang told Night Sorrow and the others that the people who might be attacked and slaughtered by Ling Tian had been arranged. Some of them were hidden, while others retreated to the 9 Heaven World Group from the 9 Heaven building and closed the teleportation array. In addition, the hidden hand was also arranged. Even if the teleportation array of the 9 Heaven building was destroyed, the Celestial Master Array Master could set it up at any time. As long as the good people are safe, Night Sorrow nodded. He valued people the most. As long as there were people alive, everything was easy to deal with. This bastard, he really deserves to die. Sima Tianqing opened his mouth and cursed. They are very strong. In addition, the bloodthirsty Legion of the Dark Abyss is also fighting with them. They are led by the Dark Ruler, Lord of Heaven Lu Xiang said with a bitter smile. Night Sorrow and Datura looked at each other. They thought of something. We all know that the Lord Ruler's original body and clone are here, but now the Dark Ruler has appeared. He should be the one who captured Night Sorrow last time. The Dark Abyss doesn't understand the situation, so they naturally listen to orders, Lord of Heaven Lu Xiang said. At this time, the Fiend Blood Legion also came to report. He had just learned about this from his subordinates. The Fiend Blood Legion's original body and clone were separated. They knew that Datura was here, so they raised their doubts. But as long as they had different opinions, they were all killed. It's Datura Chinensis. Datura's face was filled with killing intent. Datura Chinensis's move not only ruined the reputation of the Dark Abyss, but also killed some of her loyal followers. That's not the most important thing. Ling Tian closed some teleportation arrays. In other words, if we want to use the teleportation arrays between low-level and high-level worlds, we won't be able to go back. He wants to lock us outside and then unify the reincarnation world, said Lord of Heaven Lu Xiang. His intentions are hateful. Qing Emperor was a bit annoyed. Brother Qing, let's go look for a map and see the route our ancestors used to set up the teleportation arrays. Once we find the route, it'll be easy. If our ancestors can pass through the void to set up teleportation arrays, so can we, said Tang Jianfeng. Lord of Heaven Xinhu, you guys should also look for the route to set up teleportation arrays. Wuling Mountain Master said. The reincarnation world was in trouble because they wanted to help the Black-Yellow Great World. He felt that everyone should help. The reincarnation world is in internal strife, but it's not in danger of being destroyed. The realm war of the Black-Yellow Great World is more important. Everyone continue to fight here. I'll go look for the route. Once we know the route and a suitable opportunity, we'll launch a counterattack. Qing Emperor said. He was a Lord of Heaven with the spatial attribute. Setting up teleportation arrays required traveling through the void turbulence. He was more suitable. Night Sorrow and the others nodded. This was the best solution for now. Mandala Shura, how dare you try to take over my place? I must kill her. Datura was very angry. Let's study the route first. As for the counterattack, we need to think carefully. This time, we in the Celestial Sect have reached a point of life and death. When we fight, they may activate the 9th rank corpse, said Sima Tianqing. The Celestial Sect had always been a hidden danger. Everyone didn't take action because of the threat of the ninth-rank corpse. But now, the celestial sect had shed all pretense of cordiality and wanted to dominate the world. Not to mention the ninth-rank corpse, even if it was the 18th-rank corpse, everyone had to find a way to deal with it. Chapter 1451. Unsealed. Shengguanhong's original body sent news that Ling Tian had destroyed the 9-story tower and captured Jun Xuanji's clone. However, Jun Xuanji's clone had self-destructed. Night Sorrow was furious when he heard the news. However, he could only endure it now because he couldn't go back even if he wanted to. Besides, he didn't have enough resources. After drinking a cup of heart-cleansing tea, Night Sorrow calmed down. It was useless to think about it now. He couldn't go back. Even if he could go back, it would be difficult to avenge Jun Xuanji. No one knew the hidden strength of the celestial sect. Night Sorrow's original body continued to cultivate while his clone studied battle techniques every day and waited for news. Qing Emperor's original body stayed in the Alliance camp to cultivate. He still needed to improve after his recovery. His clone had already gone to set up a teleportation array. Of course, it wouldn't be a problem that could be solved in a short time. Night Sorrow returned to the tent from the God-slaying team's camp. Above 6-inch Night Sorrow, don't think too much. So what if Ling Tian took down the reincarnation Great World? As long as our people are safe, we can kill whenever we go back. Jun Xuanji's clone has fallen. It's actually not a big deal. With her current level, it's difficult for her to condense another clone, Datura said. It's not a big problem. The key is that she chose to follow me to explore the world. However, I can't protect her. It's my fault. So, whoever hurts her I'll kill back, Night Sorrow said. From the perspective of the big picture, the battle here is more important, Datura said. She was calmer than Night Sorrow now. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Then Qing Emperor came over. Night Sorrow, it's a little troublesome. Ling Tian probably had a plan. I went to 2 small worlds. Although the teleportation arrays weren't destroyed, the teleportation arrays in specific directions were closed. In other words, the teleportation crystals were taken away. Destroying the teleportation arrays would make one a public enemy. However, the teleportation crystals were taken away, so it wasn't considered destruction. Ling Tian had many sovereigns under him. Some small worlds couldn't resist and could only accept it. What should we do? Night Sorrow looked at Qing Emperor and asked. I can only find the nearest spatial turbulence between worlds to set up a new teleportation array, said the Qing Emperor. Night Sorrow nodded. In such a situation no one could do anything about it. They could only slowly set it up, which was a very troublesome matter. The distance between high-level worlds was very far, and there was no way to directly travel between them. One had to first go to a small world, then travel from small world to small world and then to a high-level world. This required time and a lot of effort. Night Sorrow would walk around the front lines every day to feel the devil blood qi and its characteristics. Seeing Night Sorrow loitering in front of the camp every day, Evil Soldier was very angry. But there was no point in fighting now because he had no confidence in defeating Night Sorrow. It would be humiliating if a practitioner of the half-step Imperial realm couldn't take down a monarch, which would hurt the morale of the Evil Soldier's legion. Therefore he didn't want to do that. He wanted to wait for the arrival of fierce soldiers of Heavenly Blade to crush them and then attack directly. Night Sorrow's original body had been cultivating. After his body was strengthened, he continued to comprehend the will. The situation was stable for half a year. The Spacetime Pagoda and Immortal Creation Pavilion had finished fusing, forming the Haotian Divine Pagoda. It should be said that the Haotian Divine Pagoda had been completely restored. Lil Kong had become the weapon spirit of the Haotian Divine Pagoda. The Haotian Divine Pagoda was much stronger than the Spacetime Pagoda. The completely restored Haotian Divine Pagoda had 90 levels, and the time acceleration had more than doubled. The last level had reached 50 times. 1 year in the outside world could be cultivated for 50 years inside. This was the time acceleration and the other level was the time deceleration. 50 years outside was 1 year inside. This effect was useless for cultivation, but if someone was seriously injured or needed time to solve the problem, the time deceleration would be effective. The Immortal Creation Pavilion's effect was also in the Haotian Divine Pagoda, which was to seize the fortune of heaven and earth and change the aptitude of the cultivator. In addition, the Haotian Divine Pagoda's ability to absorb the spirit energy of heaven and earth was stronger. Originally, the spirit gathering array in the Spacetime Pagoda could gather the energy of heaven and earth. After this fusion, the power of the spirit gathering array was even stronger. The body protection function was also stronger. Bai Taesong's origin battle armor had a power that was almost unbreakable under the Heaven Monarch realm. The defense of the Haotian Divine Pagoda was the same. Night Sorrow activated the Haotian Divine Pagoda, and Dachira used the Hollow Blade to break through Night Sorrow's defense. Currently there were two defensive heavenly artifacts. One was Night Sorrow's Haotian Divine Pagoda, and the other was Lord of Heaven God Tiger's Heart Protection Mirror. There was a big difference between the two. Lord of Heaven God Tiger's Heart Protection Mirror could only protect his internal organs. At most, it could only protect his upper body. In terms of effect, it couldn't be compared to the Haotian Divine Pagoda. Night Sorrow's Haotian Divine Pagoda could transform and directly transform into energy to protect Night Sorrow's body. The success of the Haotian Divine Pagoda's recovery made Night Sorrow very happy, because it had increased a lot of combat ability. For the sake of concealment, Night Sorrow let his clone carry the Haotian Divine Pagoda, while his original body would cultivate 50 times faster inside to comprehend the will of heaven and earth. Night Sorrow's increase in strength made Dachira and Sandalwood very happy. Only the two of them knew about this matter, because Night Sorrow didn't like to be flamboyant. Qing Emperor was still setting up the teleportation array. As for the current situation, Tang Jianfeng and the others didn't have a good way to solve it. They could only wait. Fortunately, the area occupied by the evil soldier army wasn't big. Even if it hurt the origin, the problem wasn't too serious. Night Sorrow had analyzed the situation. He felt that the potential danger was very big. If the other party didn't have confidence, then they would retreat. If they didn't retreat, then it meant that they still had the intention to fight. If they didn't fight now, then they were either preparing or waiting for an opportunity. Night Sorrow was happy to stall for time. He was now in the period of increasing his strength. If he could stall for a year, then he would cultivate for 50 years. Night Sorrow's comprehension of the will was still very fast. Although the Haotian Divine Pagoda didn't display its will, he could still deduce it. In addition, the Haotian Divine Pagoda could let Night Sorrow's soul remain light and agile. Not long after entering the Haotian Divine Pagoda, Night Sorrow's will of nothingness entered 95%. He had been improving a while ago, but he didn't level up. The situation was very stable, but everyone knew that this was the eve of a storm. In addition, Night Sorrow also did something that others couldn't think of. He sat at the front of the battlefield, felt the invasion of the devil blood chi, and cultivated his own battle intent. Sandalwood and Dachira protected him from the back, because Night Sorrow couldn't be ambushed. In the camp in the devil blood chi, the evil soldier was very angry when he found out about the situation. However, he didn't lose his mind. He still had to wait. There was no point in fighting now. He had to wait for the opportunity to kill in one strike. The Azure Supreme the Arch had been setting up the teleportation formation. This was a long-term project. Of course, the teleportation formation this time was more secretive. It was used for the war and served the war. After the war ended, the teleportation formation between the two worlds would be opened again. There would be no need to set up the teleportation formation now. Speak. The third watch has arrived. Happy birthday to Brother Fatty. Chapter 1452. Unsealed. Time slowly slipped away. A year had passed. Night Sorrow had cultivated in the Haotian Godly Pagoda for 50 years. His willpower had increased to 96%, which meant that he was at the peak of the mid-level monarch rank. Qing Emperor had also built 2/3 of the teleportation array and was not far from completion. During this year, Ling Tian had made the reincarnation world a mess. Now that the main forces of the various forces had retreated, the celestial sect led by Ling Tian did not face much resistance. Therefore it was very troublesome. Evil Soldier was very irritated. When Night Sorrow was cultivating his battle intent, he could not suppress the anger in his heart and attacked. Since Evil Soldier came out, Night Sorrow naturally followed to fight. Night Sorrow was fighting with his clone. Normally speaking, a doppelganger was not as strong as the main body. Yi Shang's doppelganger had 90% of the main body's combat strength. After a year of cultivation, the White Tiger's blood essence had strengthened his body and strengthened his will. Now, his doppelganger's combat strength was even stronger than the main body's from a year ago. Night Sorrow did not use his ultimate move. He just fought Evil Soldier head-on. There was no army battle, but the army's cheers rose and fell. Especially the Nine Heavens Army and the Demon Blood Army. Night Sorrow was their soul and idol. Evil Soldier's vital energy was strong, but he could not take down Night Sorrow's tyrannical body. He even used his ultimate move, the Evil Star, 7 consecutive slashes with a soul attack. If a cultivator did not have a soul defense, it would be good if they could block 2 or 3 slashes, let alone 7 consecutive slashes. Evil Soldier used his ultimate move with a soul attack. Purple and gold light appeared on Night Sorrow's head. The purple halo was the energy of the Void Origin bead activated by the soul power. The gold halo was the light of virtue. With the defense of the two, Evil Soldier's soul attack was ineffective. After blocking the soul attack, Night Sorrow swung the air and blocked Evil Soldier's battle blade. While the main body was cultivating, the clone was outside. Night Sorrow placed the Void Origin bead on the clone to protect it. After the ultimate move was blocked, Night Sorrow was not injured at all. Evil Soldier's body flashed and left the battlefield, returning to the demon blood chi. If the ultimate move was ineffective, then what was the point of fighting? It would be shameful to continue fighting. In the battle between Evil Soldier and Night Sorrow, as long as Night Sorrow did not lose, it would be an honor for Evil Soldier because they were at different levels. In the world of cultivators, having a high cultivation level but low combat strength was a sign of incompetence. He was a half-step Imperial Realm cultivator, but he couldn't take down Night Sorrow, who was a Monarch Realm cultivator. That was a sign of incompetence. No one would understand how difficult it was for Night Sorrow just because he was strong. With a flick of his right hand, breaking space flew back into the pouch on his back. Then, Night Sorrow continued to meditate and cultivate, continuing to research how to deal with the demonic blood chi. Steady. The air of a great general. Night Sorrow was calm and magnanimous, because from beginning to end, Night Sorrow hadn't said a single word. If you want to fight, I'll fight with you. He used his actions to express his intentions. Their morale was boosted. The Evil Soldiers returned without achieving anything again, which boosted the morale of the allied forces of the Black-Yellow Great World. In the past year, Night Sorrow's strength has increased a lot. Even his avatar has such combat strength, Lord of Heaven Jianghu exclaimed. It's still the time for cultivation improvement. It's good for us to maintain the situation, the master of Wuling Mountain said. So we'd better wait. Don't give him any pressure, Lord of Heaven Jianghu said. Night Sorrow was an avatar. Everyone found this out as soon as they checked. So did Xie Bing. Xie Bing was annoyed. He knew Night Sorrow was not as good as him in terms of realm and cultivation, but he just couldn't take him down. He couldn't accept this feeling. After drinking a jar of wine, Xie Bing calmed down. He felt he had to wait. If he was restrained by Night Sorrow, the Lords of Heaven under his command wouldn't be able to deal with the allied forces of the Black-Yellow Great World. Broken Moon, go back and call the Sky Killer's troop over, Xie Bing said to Broken Moon. The Sky Killer's troop was the best defensive troop in the Devil Blood region. Even the troop was at a disadvantage. Xie Bing had to find a way to turn the situation around. After dealing with Xie Bing, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate his fighting will. Releasing the fighting will had a strong effect on the battle. Releasing the fighting will had no effect on Xie Bing, but Xie Bing's suppression of the Heaven Way would be weakened. This was what Night Sorrow wanted. When he was tired from cultivating, Night Sorrow went to the tent to chat and drink tea with Dachira. 2 years had passed. The Qing Emperor finished setting up the teleportation formation. It was completely connected. After it was connected, the higher-ups of the Allied forces all went to the command tent. This time Night Sorrow was there as well. This was closely related to him. In the tent, everyone was discussing how to deal with it. The reincarnation world is still stable. Ling Tian led his men to rule all the regions. The eastern region of the reincarnation world is now under the control of the Dark Abyss. That Dachira Chinensis is ruthless. She killed many people. She also killed some people from the Dark Abyss, the Qing Emperor said. After the teleportation formation was set up, the Qing Emperor went back to the reincarnation world to check on the situation. He reported what he found. Damn it. I'll go back and kill her now. Dachira was a little angry. Aluo, don't be anxious. It's useless for 1 or 2 people to go back. It's not suitable for all of us to go back. The situation here is very important. If we retreat, the enemy may charge directly, Night Sorrow said. Dachira sighed and sat down. She knew that Night Sorrow was right. Even if he was wrong, she would respect Night Sorrow's opinion. The Red Emperor and the Qing Emperor looked at each other. They knew Dachira. Once she was angry, there was no way to calm her down. Fortunately, Night Sorrow's persuasion was effective. Datura was still able to calm down. Night Sorrow, tell us your opinion. The Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow. If we want to take back control, we need a decisive battle. In terms of strength, the Celestial Sect only has 2 Lord of Heaven realm combat power. If we go back with 2 or 3 people, we can crush them. But in fact we can't. If we want to fight, we have to kill them all at once. We have to face the rank 9 skeleton. In addition, we can kill Datura Chinensis. But if we kill her before the decisive battle, we will be exposed in advance and the Celestial Sect will be prepared in advance. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, if there was anyone who wanted to kill Datura Chinensis the most, it was naturally Night Sorrow because she was a threat to Datura. However, if they killed Datura Chinensis before the decisive battle, the Celestial Sect would have a radical reaction. It was unwise to anger the Celestial Sect because it would bring about a massacre. Then we'll listen to you. Datura said. Others didn't know, but Datura knew that Night Sorrow's original body was cultivating under a time acceleration of 50 times. If he endured for a while, Night Sorrow's strength would be greatly improved. In the end, the result of their discussion was to endure the realm war in the Black-Yellow Great World to solve the crisis here. Then all the allied forces could be transferred to the Samsara Great World to solve the war caused by the Celestial Sect's ambition. We still have to hurry. The Celestial Sect is vigorously collecting resources, which is a big blow to the major forces. I don't know what they are going to do. The Qing Emperor said. Resources were the foundation. The Celestial Sect was now scraping the land for resources. These resources were the development resources of the major forces. If these resources were gone, even if they took back control, the damage would be immeasurable. Speak. The 4th update is here. Today's update is complete. Thank you for the help, brothers and sisters. Chapter 1453. No matter what they want to do, they have a plan because they know that they can't keep us out forever. So I'm worried that they will make a mess and then run away, Night Sorrow said. It's not impossible. They used the rank 9 skeleton to scare us and then ran away after plundering it. In the end, the threat of the rank 9 skeleton is still there. Our loss will be for nothing, Lord of Precious Fragrance said. Where can they run to? This time we'll kill them to the end, Sima Tianqing said. I've already sent people to plant inside. If there's any news or signs, the news will come, Lord of Precious Fragrance said. After the meeting, some people went back to make arrangements. After all, they had to go back and make some arrangements for the hidden people for more than 2 years. Night Sorrow also left. The 9-story building was heavily damaged and he was very angry. Knowing that Night Sorrow was going back, Shengguanhong's clone informed the hidden Heavenly Adept Formation Master to activate the teleportation formation to the 9 Firmament World Group at the Heaven Tiger Pass. There were defensive array formations on both sides of the Heaven Tiger Pass. It was not something that could be broken in a short period of time. Additionally, there were also defensive array formations inside the Heaven Tiger Pass. Hence, the Azure Supreme, the Arch City's princes, officials, and other important people retreated to the Heaven Tiger Pass first. After retreating to the Heaven Tiger Pass, the Formation Master set up the teleportation formation to the 9 Firmament World Group and sent some people there. Nu Lin's clone was guarding the place with the formation plate. Usually, the teleportation formation to the 9 Firmament World Group was closed. Now that they knew that Night Sorrow was coming back, Nu Lin and Shengguanhong activated the teleportation formation. Stepping on the teleportation formation, Night Sorrow arrived at the reincarnation world in a moment. The location was in a big canyon in the eastern part of the reincarnation world. The Qing Emperor was connected to a low-level world or a high-level world. The teleportation formation was laid out step by step. After connecting to the reincarnation world, in order to avoid mistakes, he set up a teleportation formation that directly connected the 2 worlds. This canyon was the Fog Canyon. It was relatively safe with few people. It was the place where the secret guards were trained. It was more convenient for his own people to enter and exit, but others couldn't. Out of the Fog Canyon, Night Sorrow flew at top speed. After 2 hours he arrived at the Heaven Tiger Pass. Nodding to Nu Lin and Shengguanhong, Night Sorrow got on the teleportation formation and teleported to the 9 Firmament World Group. After arriving at 7 Night City, Night Sorrow saw Jun Xuanji. I'm sorry. I didn't think that far ahead and caused you to lose your clone, Night Sorrow said apologetically. It's nothing. It's normal for a cultivator to lose a clone, but... Jun Xuanji hesitated as he looked at Night Sorrow. But what? What's wrong? Night Sorrow frowned. After my doppelganger self-detonated, it seems that my soul power didn't disperse. It's sealed, Jun Xuanji said in a low voice. Don't worry, I will seek justice for you later. Ling Tian must die. Night Sorrow's body was filled with killing intent. He was truly furious. After that, Night Sorrow asked about the defense of the Nine Firmament World Group. After learning that there were no problems, he felt at ease. Your doppelganger has fallen. Your main body will stay in the Sky City. If there are orders, let others carry them out. Aunt Fei, you should also go to the Sky City, Night Sorrow said to Wu Lingfei as he turned his head. When Night Sorrow wasn't there, Jun Xuanji was in charge of the overall situation. Wu Lingfei assisted him. Now that Jun Xuanji had lost his clone, his main body was the most important. He couldn't be careless. Wu Lingfei was one of the people Night Sorrow respected and cared about the most. He was also very worried. Don't worry. We have many backup plans in the Ice Dragon Great Array. Even if the other party uses some method to break the seal of the teleportation formation, we still have time to retreat. However, the war in the Black-Yellow Great World is more important, Jun Xuanji said. I'm worried, so I came back to take a look. I have to go back in a while. Aunt Fei, if you stay here, my main body will go to the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall. If anything happens, you can inform me immediately, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Okay, my main body will go there in a while. Wu Lingfei nodded. There's another thing. As for the defense of Aluo, or rather, the defense of Datura Chinensis, as long as Aluo doesn't come back with me, she can't use any of the teleportation formations, Night Sorrow said again. He was worried that Datura Chinensis would break into the inner circle. That would be big trouble. Jun Xuanji and Wu Lingfei both nodded. They already knew about this. Night Sorrow told some people to go back to the Nine Regions world. He returned to the Heaven Tiger Pass and then went back to the Black-Yellow Great World. At this time, many people had returned because the battlefield here was the most important. Everyone sat together and talked about it. They found that the problem wasn't too big. It was just that the Samsara city had suffered a great loss when they didn't retreat strategically at the beginning. It's not too big of a loss. Let them occupy the Samsara world first. When the situation here stabilizes, we'll go back, Qing Emperor said. When the time comes, we'll kill those bastards together, Lord of Heaven Godhood said. Everyone laughed. As long as the people around them were fine, they were more worried about him. Night Sorrow, we're short of top-grade teleportation stones. We only found one in the Divine Martial City. Take it. Then Lord of Heaven God Martial took out a big piece of teleportation crystal. Top-grade teleportation crystals were hard to find. The teleportation crystal that Qing Emperor set up in the Fog Grand Canyon belonged to Tang Jianfeng. The Black-Yellow Great World only had one top-grade teleportation crystal. Now Lord of Heaven God who might have the only top-grade teleportation crystal in the Shenwu Great World. Then I'll take it. We really need it now. Later, I'll continue to set up a secret teleportation formation. That way, even if they have diviners, they won't be able to destroy it, Night Sorrow said. We don't need to be polite. I think that as long as we don't make any noise, they won't notice it easily, Tang Jianfeng said. Night Sorrow nodded and then teleported back to the Fog Grand Canyon. Then, he went to the Sky Tiger Pass and set up a teleportation formation that was waiting to be activated. If it was activated, the diviners could do divinations. If it wasn't activated, what could they do? One side of the teleportation formation was at the Sky Tiger Pass, while the other side was at the Black-Yellow Great World. As long as Night Sorrow inserted the teleportation crystal in his hand, he could teleport. Now, everyone was waiting for the war to end and then counterattack. As for the damage, the Celestial Sect didn't cause much damage to the Reincarnation Great World. The top forces all took the initiative to retreat and took away all the resources. There was only so much that could be plundered. Our was the only authentic version. The other were stolen versions. Night Sorrow, we can't keep wasting time here. In the past we didn't care. But now, the Reincarnation Great World will be occupied by others. We can't do that, Tang Jianfeng said. I need time to deal with that evil soldier, Night Sorrow said. But the first update arrived. Chapter 1454. There is no possibility of defeating him at the moment, so a head-on battle is not a solution. I still need some time. When it's about time, I will fight with all my strength and see if I can defeat him. Yishan opened his mouth and said. At this moment, everyone was looking at Yishang. Their eyes were filled with astonishment. They had never thought of taking down the evil soldier. Is there hope? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow. When I reach the High Monarch level, I plan to fight with all my strength with my doppelganger. If I don't try, I don't know if it will work. His foundation is already like this and he has already used his unique skill, so I am not afraid of him, Night Sorrow said. Good. Tang Jianfeng slammed the table. Then, Night Sorrow returned to his tent and talked to Datura. You have to stay calm. Don't rush. The situation is already like this and it can't get any worse, Datura said. I understand. When I reach the High Monarch level, I will see the difference. Night Sorrow nodded at Datura. You are my husband or else I would be jealous of you. Do you know how many years it took to become a monarch in history? Millions of years. Not to mention the High Monarch level. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. Night Sorrow's original body was comprehending the will, and his doppelganger was sharpening his fighting spirit at the front of the battlefield. The evil soldier looked really angry. The demon blood chi had a great effect on cultivators outside the demon blood region, but Night Sorrow was using it to train himself. Bear with it, the evil soldier had to bear with it. As long as a fierce soldier at the same level as him came, the current problem would be solved. At the headquarters of the celestial sect in the reincarnation world, Ling Tian was talking to a few higher-ups. Ling Ju was there too. It's unrealistic for us to completely block Emperor Qing and the others outside. At most, it would take us 3 to 5 years. Now that 2 years have passed, we have to consider moving and retreating. The plundering formation has been set up, and the Samsara Palace is isolated from the outside world. No one will know what we have done. If we plunder the origin energy without anyone knowing, our ultimate mission has been completed, Ling Tian said. There was a mistake in our calculations this time. We should have started fighting everywhere, giving them the opportunity to escape with the resources. This caused us to be able to plunder fewer resources. An elder spoke. He was Ling Tianyu, Ling Tian's cousin. Time doesn't allow us to play around. Tianyu, you'll be in charge of plundering. Ling Ju and I will leave first. There's no need for us to continue developing in the reincarnation world because there won't be any more luck, Ling Tian said. Father, I don't plan to leave. Let me refine that woman's soul first, Ling Tian said. Well, let's prepare for both sides. After plundering, you can retreat to the Kuan inferior world. I will talk to the higher-ups. We have done a great job this time, so the sect should give us special treatment, Ling Tian said. The Celestial Sect was originally a subordinate sect of the Celestial Sect in the Celestial Realm. The main purpose of its development in the reincarnation world was to plunder the chi of the origin and enhance the Celestial Sect's luck. The Celestial Sect referred to the Celestial Sect in the Celestial Realm. The main force of the reincarnation world was assisting the Xuanhuan Great World in this realm war. Ling Tian thought it was the best chance in countless years, so he took action. At the same time, Datura Chinensis came to the alliance. The two sides hit it off and started the war. Ling Tian was also trying to buy time by sealing the teleportation formation. He knew that if the ancestors could set up the teleportation formation, the Azure the Arch and the others could as well. What they needed was time. During this time, Ling Tian sent people to set up the plundering formation to surround the Samsara Palace. It took Ling Tian 2 years to set up the plundering formation. He didn't want to be detected by the origin of the reincarnation world. The origin of the reincarnation world was very powerful. Once the origin of the reincarnation world found out what he was doing, it would probably kill them. Ling Tian succeeded. He set up countless small formations in the past 2 years. After countless small formations were activated, the plundering formation was activated. It completely surrounded the reincarnation palace. The origin of the reincarnation world couldn't even ask for help. Look, the plundering formation was very deceptive. It surrounded the reincarnation palace and would not be easily seen through or destroyed. No one would think that there was a plundering formation outside the reincarnation palace. No one could do that. Everyone would think that it was a self-defense formation created by the reincarnation palace. In addition, in order to avoid the counterattack of the reincarnation world, Ling Tian planned to retreat. His task had been completed. There was no need to stay. He had more than one way out. First of all, they had the foundation of a small world. In addition, the Celestial Sect had a passage to the Celestial Realm. Of course, the passage also had restrictions. It was different from the passage guarded by Yuan Daotian. The Celestial Sect's passage was one way. In other words, one could only leave. It was suppressed by the origin of the reincarnation world. Otherwise, the experts of the Celestial Sect would have already arrived at the reincarnation world. In addition to these, Ling Tian also set up a backup plan. After activating the rank 9 skeleton, he placed it in the plundering formation. In other words, anyone who attacked the plundering formation would be killed by the rank 9 skeleton. The rank 9 skeleton was infused with his soul spirit energy. The energy that Ling Tian infused into the rank 9 skeleton could last for 100 years. In 100 years, the origin of the reincarnation world would be almost depleted. After arranging all these, Ling Tian left to deal with the follow-up matters. Ling Qianyu was enough to deal with the matters of the reincarnation world. As long as the Qing Emperor and the others returned, they would retreat. After Ling Tian left, Ling Qianyu went to deal with the plundering of resources. Ling Ju returned to his palace. In the palace, Ling Ju took out a crystal ball. The crystal ball was filled with energy rays. A rare in-origin soul. After refining and absorbing it, the strength of my soul will increase, Ling Ju muttered softly. When the celestial sect attacked the 9 grand floors, Ling Ju went. Because he hated Night Sorrow, he wanted to destroy Night Sorrow's forces with his own hands. When Jun Xuanji self-detonated, Ling Tian discovered that Jun Xuanji's soul was a pure in-origin soul. Refining it could strengthen one's body, so he sealed it and gave it to Ling Ju. Jun Xuanji sensed that his doppelganger's soul was about to be refined. This was a big matter. It could easily cause a chain reaction that would harm the main body. While controlling his soul spirit energy to resist, Jun Xuanji went to the heaven-sealing palace and told Night Sorrow about it. After hearing this, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating outside the demonic blood qi, stood up. This matter was too big. He had to deal with it. If he couldn't protect the people around him, how could he protect the world? Night Sorrow decided to act. In order to prevent any side effects, he decided to send his doppelganger. If he sent his doppelganger out, Ling Tian would think that Night Sorrow already had a doppelganger in the reincarnation world. In addition, Night Sorrow also wanted to see how powerful the 9th stage skeleton was. After telling Dachura that he had something to do, Night Sorrow directly left. After returning to the 9 regions world, Night Sorrow set off with Jun Xuanji. Jun Xuanji could sense his soul. The second chapter has arrived. Thank you Jianghu for unsealed yesterday's chapter. Chapter 1455. It was dangerous to bring Jun Xuanji along, but Night Sorrow could only do so. When the time came, he would put Jun Xuanji into the 8-dragon cauldron. Night Sorrow did not believe that a rank 9 skeleton could be much stronger than an evil weapon. Using energy to change the muscles on his face, he teleported twice. After arriving at the celestial sect, Night Sorrow wrapped Jun Xuanji with his energy and flew quickly. While flying, Night Sorrow circulated his leakless true body to the extreme, mainly because he did not want to be detected by the other party. While they were flying, Jun Xuanji kept telling Yishang the location of his senses. Hold on, you must hold on. The integrity of your soul is very important. You cannot be refined by the other party. Night Sorrow was a little anxious. Z-chap, XII. For inch, don't be too anxious. According to the current situation, I can still hold on for a few hours. Jun Xuanji said. That's enough. A few hours is enough. Night Sorrow breathed out and said. If he could save Jun Xuanji, then a few hours would be enough. If not, then a few days would be useless. Night Sorrow, it's my fault this time. I should not have told you and let you take the risk. After telling Night Sorrow, Jun Xuanji regretted it because Night Sorrow would definitely take action if he knew about this. If he did, then he would have to bear a great risk. It's indeed a great risk. If I can't win, then both of us will die here. You can't blame me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He was actually not too worried because it would not be easy for anyone to kill him. Night Sorrow, you really shouldn't do this. You are the core of the 9 domains world or even the core of the reincarnation great world. You shouldn't take such a risk for me. I don't even know how to face Chuyu and Yang Lei. At this moment, Jun Xuanji was feeling uneasy. She was close friends with Sikong Chuyu and the others, but by revealing her situation she was putting Night Sorrow at risk. They will understand. It would be unforgivable if you didn't tell them. We fought side by side and walked out of the 9 domains world together. We are friends who have gone through life and death together. We are brothers and sisters who have gone through life and death together. You can't leave me with any regrets. Night Sorrow said. I know. We're getting closer and closer, Jun Xuanji said to Night Sorrow. Hearing Jun Xuanji's words, Night Sorrow became even more cautious. He also set up a low-level teleportation array and embedded the teleportation array disk with a teleportation crystal. This way it would be easier to retreat. After flying for a while, they arrived at the core area of the celestial sect. Night Sorrow spread his soul force to the maximum. This time Night Sorrow was planning to sneak attack and rescue someone. He would leave once he succeeded. Of course he couldn't be discovered. As they got closer, more and more guards appeared. However, it was impossible for them to discover Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was very fast. Using the buildings, he moved forward quickly. It's that white palace. My soul force is trapped inside. After getting close, Jun Xuanji pointed out the target. Releasing his soul force, Night Sorrow found Ling Ju holding the crystal ball and trying to refine it. There were no heaven monarchs in this area. After checking, Night Sorrow confirmed the situation. You enter the 8-dragon cauldron. I'll go kill him. Once I succeed, we'll retreat, Night Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji. Be careful. Jun Xuanji nodded. Night Sorrow moved his soul force and put Jun Xuanji into the 8-dragon cauldron. Then he continued to move forward. His body flashed rapidly, dodging one patrol after another. Night Sorrow was not far from the area where Ling Ju was. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow flashed into the 8-dragon cauldron. He controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to fly close to the ground. Now Night Sorrow's soul force was very strong. His original body was cultivating in the Haotian Divine Pagoda and had already refined a drop of soul cultivation liquid. Now he controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to fly. Not only was it not difficult, but it was also very fast. Furthermore, his soul force was condensed and wouldn't cause any energy fluctuations. After successfully flying the 8-dragon cauldron into the palace, Night Sorrow knew that there was only one monarch realm cultivator, Ling Ju. Killing Ling Ju wouldn't be difficult. The main thing was to retreat. After the 8-dragon cauldron entered the main hall, Night Sorrow flashed out of the 8-dragon cauldron. He waved his hand and executed the Death Destruction Slash. Without the presence of a heaven monarch, this was an opportunity. He couldn't hesitate. The Death Destruction Slash triggered a soul spirit attack halo that enveloped Ling Ju. Night Sorrow's spatial ren seemed to have traveled through time and space. In an instant, it pierced through Ling Ju's head and destroyed his soul spirit. With a wave of his hand, Night Sorrow kept Ling Ju's storage ring and crystal ball. He then activated the teleportation disc and left the main hall. Just as Night Sorrow's figure disappeared, Ling Tianyu arrived. He was riding on a Heaven Monarch Realm puppet. He noticed the energy fluctuation of Night Sorrow's attack and activated the puppet to rush over. However, it was all too late. Ling Tianyu looked at everything coldly. At this moment, the pale-faced Ling Ju had also arrived. It was his clone. Earlier on, his clone was cultivating his combat skills somewhere else and managed to escape. However, the death of his original body was equivalent to destroying everything he had. In the following days he would just be living. That was all. He wouldn't have any more achievements and he wouldn't be able to reproduce and enjoy human relationships. Chapter 1456. Night Sorrow smiled apologetically at Dachira and explained the situation in detail. At first, he didn't say anything because he didn't want Dachira to worry. Now that the matter was over, he told her everything. Yes, we should have taken action. But you should have told me about this. We should have discussed it. You took too big a risk this time, Dachira said to Night Sorrow. I know. I had no choice this time. Ling Ju wants to refine Jun Xuanji's soul. This matter is too serious, Night Sorrow explained. At this moment, Qing Emperor and Misty Rain arrived. Dachira explained the situation to them. This time I sent my clone to fight. They should think that my clone was originally in the reincarnation world. After all, in the eyes of ordinary people, if the teleportation array is connected, we will kill our way back. Besides, I had no choice but to take action this time, Night Sorrow said. It doesn't matter what they think. This is the situation. In fact, we should kill our way back now. It's just that we can't get away from here. Besides, Ling Tian will also estimate that we will set up a teleportation array. There might be a discrepancy in his estimation of the time, Qing Emperor said. In other words, there are two possibilities. Either they fight us to the death or they retreat, Dachira said. Actually, the possibility of them retreating is higher. After all, they benefited from it and obtained a lot of resources. After retreating, the threat of the rank 9 corpse will still be there, Qing Emperor analyzed. But we can only continue to wait. If we kill our way back, the situation here won't be good, Dachira sighed. This situation was very depressing for her. That's true. So, for the sake of the big picture we can only wait and see, Qing Emperor nodded. Datura Chinensis must be killed. She is too big a threat. She can pretend to be a Luo and give us a fatal blow, Night Sorrow said. That's simple. We need you to hold the fort here. We need you to take care of this evil weapon. Sister-in-law and I will head back and kill that fella. Zhan Tan, who had been silent all this while, spoke up. That works too. But you have to be careful. If that rank 9 corpse appears, crush my messaging crystal. After pondering for a moment, Night Sorrow said. At the same time he brought out several defensive array discs. Some were for escaping while others were for messaging crystals. Then Datura and Zhan Tan set off. Everyone knew how dangerous Datura Chinensis was. After Datura and Sandalwood left, Night Sorrow took out Lingju's storage ring. He used his soul power to destroy Lingju's soul imprint and open the ring. After opening it, Night Sorrow cursed. Lingju's storage ring contained too many resources. There were close to 1.5 million Saint Spirit stones, as well as all sorts of equipment and alchemy materials. These weren't Lingju's personal assets. Night Sorrow came to the conclusion that these were the resources that the Celestial Sect had plundered. At this moment, other than anger, Lingju was also afraid. Not only had his main body been killed by Night Sorrow, but he had also lost all the resources he had plundered from the region he was in charge of. All the resources were in his main body's storage ring. Now that he had lost it, he naturally understood that Night Sorrow had erased his soul imprint. Lingju couldn't explain this to Ling Tian. He could only look for Ling Tianyu and hope that he could speak up for him. Lingju, you are responsible for this matter. However, it's not entirely your fault that the other party came to our base to kill you. When the time comes, I will talk to the sect lord. Ling Tianyu sighed. Lingju's loss of resources was not a small loss for the Celestial Sect. When the Celestial Sect started the war, they had gained the most from quickly conquering Reincarnation City. Before they could conquer the other cities, they had already retreated with their resources. Therefore their gains weren't that great. Lingju had kept the resources he had plundered from the Sima Manor and Fiend Valley, but now they were all in Night Sorrow's hands. After checking the resources, Night Sorrow smiled. This was equivalent to giving him more capital. After organizing the resources, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate. Although he was worried about Datura and Sandalwood's situation, he really couldn't leave this place. He had no choice but to save Jun Xuanji because of the urgent situation. He couldn't be so impulsive now. Night Sorrow's doppelganger cultivated the battle will, while his main body comprehended the will in the clear sky pagoda. At the same time he refined the soul cultivation liquid. Night Sorrow could have refined the soul cultivation liquid long ago. However, his main body was always in a state of enlightenment and didn't have the time. Now there was no problem. Night Sorrow needed time. Night Sorrow realized that he didn't have enough time. He felt that he couldn't keep up with the pace. Fortunately, he had dealt with the dangers in the past. After 3 days, Datura and Sandalwood returned. Seeing the smile on Datura's face, Night Sorrow knew that it was a success. Before Night Sorrow could ask, Datura took out a crystal ball. It's done. This is the power of her soul. She and I share the same origin. After refining it, our fate will become one. Very good. Then I have to congratulate you. Did you completely kill her? Night Sorrow asked. Very completely. Her soul is here and her body is already in the dark abyss. Datura nodded. How did you deal with the dark abyss? Night Sorrow asked again. I didn't deal with it. Let nature take its course. If I were to clean up the dark abyss, I might be attacked. It's not very appropriate. Datura said. You handled it well. Night Sorrow nodded. D only knew, Q others too, why piracy? The Celestial Sect didn't make any response. They couldn't make any response. The rank 9 corpse was in the plunder array. Sensing danger, the Celestial Sect retreated under Ling Tianyu's arrangements. They disappeared in the blink of an eye. Qing Emperor and the others were puzzled. After investigating, they found that all the core members of the Celestial Sect had disappeared. Even the headquarters of the Celestial Sect couldn't find any core members. The heavenly monarchs of the reincarnation world all returned under Qing Emperor's arrangements to stabilize the situation. Night Sorrow, what's going on with the Celestial Sect? Qing Emperor was a little puzzled. They shouldn't be just after resources. If they were just after resources, they could be more ruthless and collect a large amount of resources from other affiliated worlds. They wouldn't have offended so many top forces and run away after robbing some resources. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. You're right. We must have overlooked something important. We have to investigate this carefully. Qing Emperor nodded. He agreed with Night Sorrow's point of view. A few days passed and they didn't find any news about the Celestial Sect. Now the people of the Celestial Sect were in the Kuan lower world and all the entrances and exits were closed. Only the Celestial Sect could enter and exit from the Kuan lower world. They had a transmission formation in the Kuan lower world that led to a small island in the endless sea of the reincarnation world. Chapter 1457. Ling Tianyu and Ling Ju were standing beside Ling Tian. Looking at the weakened Ling Ju, Ling Tian raised his hand to Ling Ju's face but put it down again. Although the loss was great, it wasn't all Ling Ju's fault. Night Sorrow's sudden attack was very difficult to defend against. Alright, let's not talk about this anymore. Since they might have already set up a teleportation formation, then don't show your face. The Kuan lower world is safer. I will wait here for news. Once the higher-ups send news we will leave. However, Tianyu, your clone must stay. Ling Tian said. The plundering formation had been completed and had already begun plundering. The plundering origin energy was stored in the spirit stones in the core of the formation. When a spirit stone was full it would be replaced. This was done once every 5 years. Ling Tian had already taken care of this step. There was a teleportation formation in the plundering formation. When the time came, someone would teleport in and collect the spirit stones that were full of origin energy before replacing the empty ones. Someone had to be in charge of transporting the spirit stones to the Celestial Sect in the Celestial Realm. Ling Tian couldn't trust ordinary people, so he arranged for Ling Tianyu to be in charge. The disappearance of the Celestial Sect allowed the reincarnation Great World to settle down. The regions of the various great powers regained their stability. Night Sorrow was still cultivating. He wanted to increase his willpower as soon as possible. Once he did, he would become a high-level monarch. In other words, he would be a peak monarch. The power of his willpower would change again. Now that the reincarnation Great World was stable, Night Sorrow also had peace of mind. He cultivated steadily. Datura also began to refine Datura Chinensis's soul energy. Datura and Datura Chinensis came from the same origin. They were fated to be enemies. They were enemies but they were also the greatest help. This time, Datura's main body and clone went all out to kill Datura Chinensis. Actually, killing Datura Chinensis meant wiping out her consciousness and willpower. Datura refined her soul energy to strengthen her own soul energy. The energy in Datura Chinensis's body would not be lost either. Datura had already thrown her into the dark abyss, where she had been born. Her energy would also be absorbed. For Datura, refining the energy left by Datura Chinensis was not only an improvement in his cultivation, but also an improvement in his origin and essence. Night Sorrow's cultivation was very stable. 1.5 years had passed in the real world. Night Sorrow had entered the high-class monarch realm and refined the second drop of soul cultivation liquid. Just as Night Sorrow was about to have a real fight with Xie Bing, he felt something wrong with his body. The energy within Night Sorrow's body was quite complicated. There was the colored energy from the 3 lightning tribulations. Night Sorrow had already compressed it into one, but it was still not under his control. There was also the reincarnation origin energy. Now, there was something wrong with the reincarnation origin energy. The reincarnation origin energy was originally swimming in Night Sorrow's body, but now it stopped in Night Sorrow's Dantian region and trembled. This made Night Sorrow feel puzzled. After thinking for a while, he felt that there was something wrong with the origin of the world of samsara. Then he found Qing Emperor and told him his thoughts. Qing Emperor also felt that this was a serious matter. After talking for a while, they decided to put the fight with Xie Bing aside. They had to go to Samsara Palace to see what was wrong. No matter if it was a big world, a high-class world or a small world, the origin of the world was the core. If there was something wrong with the origin of the world, the consequences would be very serious. Night Sorrow's doppelganger stayed at the front of the battlefield, while his original body took the transmission formation back to the world of Samsara and went directly to Samsara Palace. Samsara Palace could not be seen. The fog was rolling and the energy completely covered Samsara Palace. The big formation had a mysterious aura and a strong killing intent. Night Sorrow stood in front of the big formation, but the origin of Samsara Palace did not appear. After looking at it for a while, Night Sorrow felt that the formation was not easy to break. It would take a long time. Moreover, it was not appropriate to break the big formation surrounding Samsara Palace directly. It was disrespectful to the origin of the world of Samsara. Besides, Night Sorrow felt threatened instinctively. Night Sorrow felt that it was unreasonable for the origin of the world to attack him. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow went back to the command tent in front of the formation of the Black-Yellow Great World. At this time, a group of Lords of Heaven were talking in the big tent. They had almost nothing to practice. It was rare for them to gather together, so they drank tea and chatted. Of course, they did not touch the area of their unique skills. Misty Rain asked, "Night Sorrow, why do you look so pale?" Master's wife, everyone is here. Now I am confused." Night Sorrow found a place to sit down and said, "If you have any questions, tell me. I'm listening." Qing Supreme Thearka's originally smiling face calmed down because Yishang had never said anything about his questions. There is something wrong with the origin of the world of Samsara. Night Sorrow told everyone what he had found. The formation surrounding Samsara Palace? How could it be? Sima Tiancheng said in surprise. Is it because when the celestial sect overthrew the rule of the world of Samsara, the origin of Samsara felt the crisis and set up a self-defense formation? Red Emperor said. That formation is very strange. It not only has killing intent, but also has an indescribable feeling. In addition, I want to ask if it is a formation set up by Samsara Palace, is it a natural formation? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, if the origin of the world wants to protect itself, then the formation should be a very powerful natural formation. Qing Emperor nodded. Master Yu and Master Sima are both formation experts. Let's go and see. I can confirm that there is something wrong with the origin of Samsara Palace. Night Sorrow said. Oi #first B /Qing Emperor and Sima Tiancheng were still in the tent, but their doppelgangers had already gathered in front of Samsara Palace to study the formation outside Samsara Palace. After studying for 6 or 7 days they had a result. Yishang, you're right. That formation isn't right. It's not just for defense and attack. It also has other functions. I don't know the exact functions, but it has an evil aura. That's not right, Emperor Qing said. The formation must be broken. We must see the origin of the world of Samsara. That formation is definitely not set up by me. Night Sorrow exhaled and said. How can you be so sure? Lord of Precious Fragrance asked. First of all, it feels wrong. Second, I feel threatened. It is obviously impossible for the origin of the world to threaten me. I am a virtuous saint. How can the origin of the world attack me? This is simply inconceivable. It should not be, Night Sorrow said. After breaking the formation and seeing the origin of the world, everything will be clear. When the formation is broken, I must go back. If I feel threatened, then there must be killing intent. Night Sorrow was worried that Qing Emperor and the others could not handle it. Now, which side is the world of Samsara and the Black-Yellow Great World? Both are crises that threaten the origin. Sima Tiancheng asked. Chapter 1458. Then Master and Master Sima's clone will go and study how to break the formation. Qing Emperor nodded. Study it first, but don't touch it. Once you've figured it out, you can break it in one go. The formation is filled with hidden dangers. If you break it gradually, it's hard to say what will happen, Night Sorrow reminded him. He was very cautious now. Master understands. You don't have to worry about it. Qing Emperor nodded. After so much trouble, he didn't want Night Sorrow to shoulder everything. Night Sorrow returned to the tent. Breaking the formation required time, and there was no point in him being anxious. Night Sorrow, can my main body enter the clear sky pagoda to cultivate? I want to refine the thing that Datura Chinensis left behind as soon as possible, Datura asked. Of course there was no problem. Night Sorrow's clone opened the clear sky pagoda and pulled Datura's main body into the time-accelerated space. Night Sorrow and Mandala's clone brewed a pot of tea and chatted casually. Troubled times. Datura sighed after drinking a mouthful of water. These are all hidden dangers that have been accumulating for a long time. They just broke out prematurely. The celestial sect should have dealt with it long ago. They shouldn't have left it until now. Night Sorrow expressed his opinion. Back then, the heavenly monarch of Thunderfire was in charge of Samsara City. Who would dare to go and destroy the celestial sect? Datura didn't understand. Now that we've passed this crisis, even if things are stable, The samsara world's origin was devoured by the devil-blooded evil insects. Where did the problem come from? It's that formation. There must be something inside it. Actually, from the simplest point of view, it's nothing. I'm the virtuous merit saint, infinitely close to the virtuous merit great sage. The origin of the reincarnation ocean world recognizes me. No matter what, it won't attack me. But when I stand there, I can feel danger. This danger is brought about by the natural formation, so the problem lies within the formation, said Night Sorrow. Did the celestial sect do something and then withdraw from the samsara world? Dachura looked at Night Sorrow and asked. This is very likely, so the formation must be broken. Even if the samsara palace set up the formation for self-defense, it doesn't matter because I can protect him now, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow had pondered over this matter and felt that something was amiss. There was something wrong with the array formation. Originally he had decided to fight to the death with Evil Soldier. But now Night Sorrow felt that it was better to play it safe. There was no need for that at the moment. He had already started to refine the third drop of soul cultivation liquid and was continuing to comprehend his will. Calm down. We'll deal with whatever comes our way. There's nothing we can't handle. Retreat. Dachura nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. He was now 30% away from perfecting his will. By then he would be a heaven monarch. With the cultivation of the heaven monarch realm, Night Sorrow was not afraid of anyone. Night Sorrow had measured his battle strength. When he was a middle-grade monarch, he could kill a heaven monarch and fight Evil Soldier. When he was a high-grade monarch, it would be even easier for him to kill a heaven monarch. As for whether he could kill Evil Soldier, it was unknown. It depended on Evil Soldier's soul defense. If the soul defense was strong enough, even if he could not kill Evil Soldier, he would not be at a disadvantage. Night Sorrow went to the front of the battlefield every day to cultivate his will of battle. This was the path that all heaven monarchs took. Monarchs usually did not touch it. Even heaven monarchs did not cultivate like him. If their attributes were not good enough, they could not suppress the invasion of the demonic blood chi. This was the fundamental difference. Evil Soldier felt that Night Sorrow's aura had become stronger. From a middle-grade monarch to a high-grade monarch, he was even less confident because he could not even take down a middle-grade monarch like Night Sorrow. The 9-story building was rebuilt. Hong Yi and Lan Ning were in charge of it. As for safety, everyone was not afraid anymore. As long as the celestial sect appeared again, it would be a fight because there were a few teleportation arrays. Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing's doppelganger studied the array outside the Samsara Palace every day. At the same time, they presided over the restoration of order in the Samsara city. In the celestial realm, Ling Tian received an order from the celestial realm to continue collecting the origin energy. When the matter was successful, he would return to the celestial realm. He could not leave for now. This order stunned Ling Tian. This meant that there had to be a conclusion to this matter. He just brought the celestial sect back. Ling Tian did not expect this, but he still had to carry out the order and let the people of the celestial sect stay in the Kuan lower realm. No one could stay on the island in the Endless Sea domain. He was afraid of being divined by the fortune teller. If the fortune teller divined this island, it would be troublesome. In fact, Qing Emperor and the others had arranged for divination. They divined that the people of the celestial sect had arrived in the Kuan lower realm. Everyone knew that the Kuan lower realm was a very difficult world to enter because it was surrounded by galactic storms. It could only be passed through at a specific time. This world was very long and only happened once every 10,000 years. In other words, it was unrealistic to travel through the void and set up a teleportation array. They had to wait. After learning that the celestial sect had gone to the Kuan lower realm, Night Sorrow understood that the celestial sect was really going to retreat. First of all, they had to wait for a specific time to set up the teleportation array. Secondly, they had to find a way to restrain the rank 9 corpse. Otherwise, they would suffer heavy losses even if they fought their way in. This was something that no one was willing to bear. At the same time, Qing Emperor and the others also analyzed that the celestial sect would secretly connect the reincarnation world to the Kuan lower realm. However, this was easy to find. If it was not activated, the fortune teller would not be able to find it. In addition, the celestial sect would not provoke the major forces in the reincarnation world who were now very angry. Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing studied the array every day, but they did not break it. They wanted to wait until they had studied it thoroughly before breaking it in one go. After being reminded there might be danger in this array. Half a year later, Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing found Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, we don't understand this array. It is a combination of attack and defense. However, there is a special mystery in the middle. Master and Sima Manor have never seen it before. It is an array that has never appeared in the reincarnation world. Qing Emperor said. Since Master and Manor Head Sima have never seen it before, I won't be able to understand it either. Let Lord Yuan Dao Heavenly Monarch take a look. Perhaps he will have a different opinion, Yishang said after thinking for a while. Okay, then let Lord Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord come and take a look. Qing Emperor nodded. Latest chapter, previous and after thinking for a while, Night Sorrow's doppelganger left the base and rushed to the island where Yuan Dao Heavenly Reincarnation was. Because of the teleportation array, it did not take long to go back and forth. Even if the evil soldiers were to fight, his original body could fight. Another doppelganger could also return quickly. When they reached Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord, Huang Yu, who was guarding the teleportation array, was very polite. He bowed to Night Sorrow and brought Night Sorrow to the side hall behind Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord. It was the resting place of Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord. Before Night Sorrow arrived, Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord appeared. Night Sorrow, you are here. There are some things that I am helpless about. Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord cannot be lost. I cannot fight to the death. Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord said apologetically. Chapter 1459. Then Night Sorrow explained the situation. The situation you mentioned is quite serious. My formation Dao cultivation is not bad, so I'll go and take a look. It's safe if this place is sealed. Those bastards from the celestial sect can't break in. Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven said. He valued this place the most because once Yuan Dao Heaven was attacked, the consequences would be terrible. Then Night Sorrow took Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven to Samsara City. Looking at the formation outside Samsara Palace, Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven's face became more and more serious. Because Night Sorrow couldn't leave the position for a long time, everyone went to the command tent at the front of the Xuanhuan Great World. Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven looked at the formation diagram drawn by Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing. They had different understandings of formation Dao, so they dissected different parts of the formation outside Samsara Palace. It's the plundering formation. After an hour, Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven looked up and said to everyone, "What's the plundering formation?" Datura asked. Actually, I found something wrong when we arrived outside Samsara Palace. I didn't dare to confirm it at that time. Now that I've seen the parts dissected by Qing Emperor and Chief Sima, I'm sure it's the plundering formation. Then Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven explained the function and situation of the plundering formation. They have sinister intentions. Night Sorrow noticed it. If he didn't, we would have thought it was the defense formation of Samsara Palace. That would be a big problem. Li Tianba scolded. That's right. If Night Sorrow didn't have the origin power in his body, it wouldn't have been easy to find out. This might be what they want. If we didn't notice it for 100 years, the origin power of the Samsara world would have been plundered. Within 1,000 years, there would have been no spirit chi and it would have been destroyed. Yuan Dao Lord of Heaven's face didn't look very good because Celestial Sect's move was too vicious. Some time has already passed. It has been close to 4 years since the reincarnation world was occupied. We have to hurry, the Crimson Emperor said. This formation was activated 2 years after the Celestial Sect occupied Samsara City. That is to say, they have been plundering for 2 years, said the Qing Emperor. As for the chi of origin that has been plundered in the past 2 years, you don't have to worry. I reckon that there is a spiritual origin stone in the core of the formation that stores the chi of origin. As long as the spiritual origin stone is still there, the chi of origin will not be lost. When the time comes, we can just put it back in the Samsara Palace, Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao said. Since there are spiritual origin stones stored in the formation, it means that there are still people who want to enter and exit the formation because they want to take away the spiritual origin stones. I can sense danger. Either the killing array within the array formation is very powerful, or there is an existence that can threaten me. Night Sorrow clenched his right hand. The situation was very complicated. Their people might not dare to appear near the Samsara Palace. It's also possible that there's a teleportation formation in the center of the formation that allows them to enter and exit. This way they can avoid our detection, Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao said. The specific area of the formation does not interfere with the operation of other formations. It's also possible that there's a teleportation formation. Now we have to focus on breaking the formation, Qing Emperor said. Since Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao knows about the plunder formation, it's easy to break it, Misty Rain said. No, the same formation will have different characteristics and styles. Therefore, it will take time to break the formation, but it's not difficult, Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao said. Then I'll continue to stay here. Master, you guys go and break the formation. Let me know immediately if anything happens, Night Sorrow said. Then Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao went to the Samsara city and broke the formation with Qing Emperor's doppelganger and Sima Tiancheng's doppelganger. Night Sorrow called for Nu Lin and asked him to arrange for his doppelganger to go to the Samsara city. Nu Lin's doppelganger would follow him and inform him immediately if anything happened. It was not that Night Sorrow was cautious, but he felt threatened by the plunder formation outside the Samsara palace. If he felt threatened, then Qing Emperor and others might not be able to resist. Every day, seeing Night Sorrow sitting at the front of the formation to cultivate and sometimes strolling with him on his back, Evil Soldier was very angry. However, after cultivating for so many years, he had the patience to wait for Lai Bing's arrival. If Lai Bing did not come, he would not be able to take down Night Sorrow. If he attacked, it would be embarrassing. He would not do it. If Evil Soldier did not come out, Night Sorrow would not be able to fight even if he wanted to. If he rushed into the Devil Blood Chi, he would be easily beaten up. When other Lords of Heaven entered the Devil Blood Chi, their strength would be reduced. Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao, Qing Emperor, and Sima Tiancheng observed outside the Samsara palace. At the same time they kept drawing the formation. They had to study it first and then break the formation in one fell swoop. 2 months later, Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao began to break the formation because the study was almost done. As Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao threw out the Saint Spirit Stone, the aura of the plunder formation became weaker and weaker. At this time, in the core area of the formation, which was in front of the gate of the Samsara palace, a silver-haired elder who was sitting cross-legged stood up. Part 5b. The silver-haired elder was very burly. It could not even be described as burly because he was already 5 meters tall, much taller than ordinary people. However, his hair was like withered grass, and there was no spirit in his eyes when he opened them. However, this phenomenon only lasted for a moment. Then, a pair of eyes like dead fish were full of light, and his hair became lustrous. Break the formation. Did they find the problem? This should not be. The elder murmured in a low voice. Then he flashed into the formation and rushed outside. He could not let the formation be broken. Whoever broke the formation he would kill. This was the 9th rank corpse of the celestial sect. It was now controlled by Ling Tian's soul force, which meant that Ling Tian could control the 9th rank corpse to fight. The moment the 9th rank corpse rushed out of the formation, Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao, Qing Emperor, and Sima Tiancheng knew that something was wrong because the suppression was too strong. The 9th rank corpse carried with it the suppression of heaven and earth. Before the battle started, Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao and the other 2 were suppressed. Damn it, if you dare to break the formation, I will kill you. Ling Tian was very angry. Originally, he thought that this formation would be regarded as a defensive formation and could exist for a period of time. Even if it was discovered later, he could control the 9th rank corpse to defend it. But now that it was discovered, the problem was more serious. Ling Tian decided to kill. He would first kill the 3 people who could break the formation. That way the formation would be able to last a little longer. What Ling Tian needed now was time to plunder the origin energy of the formation. Defend, this is the 9th rank corpse. Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao took out his sword and shouted at Qing Emperor and Sima Tiancheng at the same time. This was a crisis for the 3 of them. If you don't come here, you can still live well. Since you dare to break the formation, you 3 can die. Ling Tian shouted and rushed towards Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao. Chapter 1460. Shao/unsealed. After the City Lord Seal flew out, Qing Emperor's expression changed. It was ineffective. The City Lord Seal was ineffective without the support of the origin energy. Assess. The silver-haired old man, or rather Ling Tian, who was controlling the silver-haired old man's corpse, sliced the City Lord Seal into 2 with a single slash. After destroying the City Lord Seal, Ling Tian flew towards Qing Emperor with a violent aura. He hated Qing Emperor the most. Now, Qing Emperor was in charge of the reincarnation world. In addition, it was also Qing Emperor who stopped him from getting Night Sorrow's heavenly Dao artifact. The Lotus Emperor retreated and at the same time, sent out a sword chi. However, when the sword chi reached Ling Tian, its power was reduced by at least half. Ling Tian did not defend at all and allowed the sword chi to cut his body. Then he slashed at Qing Emperor with his battle blade. When the sword chi hit Ling Tian's body, it was immediately neutralized by the vibrating energy on his body. However, Ling Tian's battle blade was not far from Qing Emperor's head. Fortunately, at this critical moment, Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord blocked the blade for Qing Emperor. However, he was also pushed far away and could not fight back. He was an expert among the Heavenly Lords, but he was no match for Ling Tian, who was controlling a rank 9 corpse. The difference was huge and there was no comparison. It was a complete suppression. Ling Tian controlled the rank 9 corpse to attack Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord and the other 2 Heavenly Lords. His body carried the power of heaven and earth, and Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord and the other 2 Heavenly Lords could not fight back. In other words, no matter how strong their attacks were, they could not break through Ling Tian's protective barrier after being suppressed by the power of heaven and earth. I will place the array here. Let's see who can break it. I will kill anyone who dares to come close. Today I will kill the 3 of you first. Ling Tian was very arrogant now. He had the strength to fight. Ling Tian felt that he was very capable. So what if he was a monarch? In the past, when he controlled the Heaven Monarch grade puppet, he could fight against a Heaven Monarch. Now he could control the Tier 9 corpse and chase after a Heaven Monarch. However, Ling Tian was also aware of some of the drawbacks. The 9th stage corpse had existed for many years, or rather, it had fallen for many years. Its body was already a little stiff, and its energy circulation was not very smooth. However, it was more than enough to kill Yuan Dao Heavenly Monarch and the other 2. Even if there were any results, it would only be a matter of time before the battle prowess of both sides could be compared. Qing Emperor and Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord had both executed their ultimate moves, but Ling Tian wasn't afraid of soul spirit attacks. The power of heaven and earth that the rank 9 corpse carried suppressed a portion of the attacks, while the rest was taken directly. The 3 of them couldn't do much to Ling Tian. This was the difference in strength. When the difference in strength was huge, many attacks could be ignored. At this time, Night Sorrow knew about the battle in front of the Reincarnation Palace. Someone had already come to report. First, it was the angry Lin army soldier, then it was Sima Tiancheng's. Night Sorrow's original body came out of seclusion. He brought along Hao Yin's godly detective and merged with his doppelganger. They took the teleportation formation and left. Before leaving, he told City Lord Tang, Lord Xinhu, and the others to try their best to delay the battle. He was worried that the evil soldiers would attack when they saw that he wasn't around. If they didn't have enough manpower, then the problem would be serious. Knowing that the 9th stage corpse had appeared, Night Sorrow's original body carried the Hao Yin godly pagoda and his doppelganger carried the 8-dragon cauldron. They took the teleportation formation and teleported to the reincarnation world. When Night Sorrow arrived in front of the reincarnation palace, Qing Emperor was in danger. His left arm was chopped off by Ling Tian's blade radiance. Night Sorrow's Hao Yin godly pagoda protected his body, and the reincarnation world went out horizontally, blocking Ling Tian's fatal blade. With a violent buzzing sound, Night Sorrow and Ling Tian separated. They were evenly matched in this head-on collision. Night Sorrow had the support of fighting spirit, and with his tyrannical strength he didn't lose out. You deserve to die. Ling Tian's voice came from the silver-haired old man as he swung his blade behind him. You deserve to die 10,000 times. Night Sorrow shouted coldly. He was furious because Ling Tian didn't care about the lives of millions and millions of people, and was robbing the origin energy of the reincarnation world. After I kill you, you will know who deserves to die. Ling Tian waved his blade and rushed towards Night Sorrow. Master, you guys hold the formation. Today we will fight to the death, no one can escape. Night Sorrow's fighting spirit burst forth, and the reincarnation world rushed towards Ling Tian's blade. Bang! With a muffled sound, the two separated again. With the support of Night Sorrow's fighting spirit, he resisted the negative suppression from Ling Tian's momentum of heaven and earth. His will of nothingness and rules erupted to fight with Ling Tian, and he wasn't at a disadvantage. The momentum of heaven and earth is controlled by a half-step emperor, and the energy in his body is also at the half-step emperor level. You can't be arrogant. After 2 head-on clashes, Night Sorrow felt that Ling Tian was controlling the 9th stage corpse. It was about the same level as the evil soldier. Night Sorrow didn't think much of it, but Ling Tian was shocked because Night Sorrow was much stronger than Yuan Dao Heavenly Monarch and the other 2. Then Night Sorrow fought with all his strength. There was nothing to test with Ling Tian, and they just fought to the death. After a few more rounds, Night Sorrow discovered the difference between Ling Tian and the evil soldier. The ninth stage corpse controlled by Ling Tian had strong defense, but it wasn't fast enough and it wasn't agile enough. The light from Night Sorrow's samsara, even if it was the light of void true chi, could not break through Ling Tian's defense. Similarly, the saber light from Ling Tian's saber could not injure Night Sorrow because Night Sorrow's clear sky godly pagoda's defense was extremely strong. The sputtering saber light was also ineffective against Night Sorrow. The two of them started to fight fiercely in the sky above the plundering array. The battle was evenly matched, but Night Sorrow's high attributes and tyrannical body, as well as the cultivation of his battle intent, made up for his shortcomings. Clone. Night Sorrow roared, and the clone, with the protection of the 8-dragon cauldron, joined the battle with the sky splitter. At this moment, Ling Tian realized that the situation wasn't right. He couldn't even take down Night Sorrow's original body, and now he had a powerful clone. Not to mention killing him, he couldn't even protect himself. Afterimage body? Night Sorrow used Afterimage body followed by Soul Extinguishing Slash. At this moment, Night Sorrow's Soul Extinguishing Slash was no longer the same as before. His soul power was already far superior to cultivators of the same level, and now that he had refined 2 drops of soul cultivating liquid, the power of his Soul Extinguishing Slash naturally increased. Night Sorrow controlled 2 crescent moon blades to fly towards Ling Tian, followed by Space Splitter. 2 extremely condensed space blades were released, and 2 black threads sliced towards Ling Tian. Those were space splitters, and if one was hit by them they would be cut in half. Look at the chapter on the first page. After Soul Extinguishing Slash and Space Splitter were released, Night Sorrow's original body used Great Emperor Reincarnation Slash, and his clone used Great Death Annihilation Slash. 2 ultimate moves flew towards Ling Tian. Thunderous means. What Night Sorrow was using right now was a thunderous means. He wanted to kill Yimo. Night Sorrow, be careful, his soul defense is very strong. Qing Emperor shouted. He was a little worried. However, reality was different from what the Saiyan the Arch had imagined. Yishang's 2 soul extermination crescent moon blades sliced through Ling Tian's soul defense. Under such circumstances, Ling Tian's soul defense was greatly reduced. Night Sorrow's 2 ultimate moves arrived in an instant. Speak. 4th update. 2 more updates before 10 o'clock. Chapter 1461. The purple glow from the Emperor's Reincarnation Slash and the rainbow glow from the Death Annihilation Slash enveloped Ling Tian. Then die for me. Night Sorrow Reincarnation used Extreme Kill, while his clone used Spatial Twisting Dragon Kill. Both attacks landed on Ling Tian's body. Night Sorrow's doppelganger's Spatial Twisting Dragon Slash pierced through Ling Tian's back, but it was only able to pierce half a foot in. Ling Tian's level was low, but the rank 9 corpse was at the Monarch realm when he was alive. The energy in his body was extremely tyrannical. His body contained the energy of the heavenly Tao's general momentum and laws. Night Sorrow could only penetrate half a foot into his body. Helpless, Night Sorrow continued to use the time oscillation wave to destroy. His doppelganger didn't do anything, but his main body was different. Night Sorrow's main body was strong, and reincarnation was the source of his strength. His Spatial Twisting Dragon Slash couldn't compare to it. Half of the blade pierced through Ling Tian's head, but Ling Tian's left hand grabbed onto the back of the blade. Let's see if you'll die. Night Sorrow's left hand formed a claw and grabbed onto Ling Tian's shoulder. He controlled Ling Tian so that he wouldn't break free, and his right hand continued to exert strength. At this time, Ling Tian still had his consciousness, and the blade in his right hand quickly pierced towards Night Sorrow's chest. At this time, Night Sorrow was faced with 2 choices. He could either let go of Ling Tian and dodge, or he would have to endure this attack. He had to kill this corpse, or he wouldn't have such an opportunity in the future. Yishang's heart was filled with hatred as he twisted his body to avoid being hit. Ling Tian's battle blade pierced through Yishang's right chest. Night Sorrow's right hand trembled violently, wanting to pierce through Ling Tian's head and destroy his spirit ocean. In a stalemate, Ling Tian shook his blade to destroy Night Sorrow's body, and Night Sorrow wanted to destroy Ling Tian's spirit ocean. Night Sorrow knew that he couldn't do this because Ling Tian was controlling the corpse's energy, and he might not be able to win this stalemate. Night Sorrow's clone, who hadn't done anything, couldn't persevere any longer. After pulling out splitting air, he leapt into the air and spun around. His right leg ferociously kicked Samsara's tail. At the same time, Qin Feng's true body erupted with all of his true energy and body's energy, and the reincarnation sword stabbed out again. Chi-lathe sound of weapons grinding against bones could be heard as samsara directly pierced through Ling Tian's head, shattering his deity ocean. I will definitely kill you. Ling Tian shouted, but he didn't say anything else, because the soul energy he had left in the corpse had been dispersed. Night Sorrow kicked the rank 9 corpse, sending it flying. When it hit the ground, he pulled it back. Samsara also landed on the ground. His left hand grabbed the saber and slowly pulled it out of his body. Night Sorrow, how are you doing? Qing Emperor rushed over and asked worriedly. D nu soonest v. I've suffered some trauma, but it's not a big problem. Night Sorrow said. In fact, his injuries were very serious. The rank 9 corpse's energy was very strong, and there was still a part of it left in Night Sorrow's body, which needed to be dealt with slowly. Good. You've solved the biggest problem of our reincarnation world, Yuandao Heavenly Lord said. Break the formation. This should be Ling Tian's biggest trump card. There shouldn't be any problems. Call me if there's any problem. Night Sorrow's clone left. The problem here was solved, and the black-yellow Great World's evil soldiers had to be dealt with. Haotian Godly Pagoda appeared, and Night Sorrow put away the rank 9 corpse to suppress it. He also entered the highest level of time acceleration to recover. Yuandao Heavenly Lord and the other two started to break the formation. At this moment they didn't need to be secretive. They directly broke the formation, which was much more efficient than before. Night Sorrow ate the life spirit liquid and the healing medicine, and began to heal in seclusion. Ling Tian's blade was very sharp. It had injured Night Sorrow's flesh and tendons, and the energy was still destroying. Night Sorrow wanted to refine it and expel it from his body. Only Night Sorrow could withstand it. If it was only us, we would have been killed. Even if we weren't killed, we would have had to run away. Sima Tiancheng said with some emotion. They knew how powerful the rank 9 corpse was. The three of them couldn't withstand it. If Night Sorrow hadn't arrived in time, they would have been killed. Lang Lang Chengkuan, deal with this rank 9 corpse. The reincarnation world will be restored soon, Qing Emperor said. Yuandao Heavenly Lord nodded. He had seen the ferocious side of Night Sorrow. Not everyone had the courage to exchange injuries for lives, but Night Sorrow did it. At this moment in the Kuan lower world, Ling Tian's face was extremely ugly. He knew that the mission had failed. The plundering formation would be broken soon. He didn't even get a full spiritual origin stone. Sect Master, what should we do? Ling Qianyu asked after knowing the situation. There's no other way. This is a complete failure. Moreover, there's no place for us in the reincarnation world. Explain to the higher-ups and see if they will forgive us, Ling Tian said after thinking for a while. The celestial sect was currently safe in the Kuan lower world. However, when the star field turbulence weakened, the reincarnation world would be able to set up a teleportation formation to exterminate them. Therefore he had to make plans to leave. Sect Master, you have to make a backup plan. Send your doppelganger to the celestial realm and explain to the sect headquarters. Alright, let's all go back. If they don't forgive us and attack us ruthlessly, Sect Master will only lose your doppelganger, Ling Tianyu said. Ling Tian nodded. He wasn't sure how the celestial sect in the celestial realm would deal with it. Would they give him another chance? When Night Sorrow's doppelganger returned to the Xuanhuan Great World, he saw the evil soldiers coming out of the camp of the Devil Blood Chi. Originally, the evil soldiers wanted to fight when they found that Night Sorrow wasn't there. However, when they saw Night Sorrow, they gave up the idea and retreated. Seeing the evil soldiers retreat, Night Sorrow began to cultivate his fighting spirit outside the camp of the Devil Blood Chi. During the 3 days in the real world, Night Sorrow's original body cultivated in the Haotian Godly Pagoda for 5 months. Only then did he recover from his injuries. The main reason was that the energy contained in that strike was too violent. After almost recovering, Night Sorrow came out to watch the three of them break the formation. In 3 days, they had broken half of the plundering formation outside the reincarnation palace. How do you feel? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Very good. I'm quite happy. We've solved a hidden danger, a rank 9 skeleton that always threatened us, Night Sorrow said. Except for you, no one can defeat him. Thank you for your hard work, Lord Yuandao said with a smile. 6 days later, the plundering formation was completely broken. The rolling fog disappeared, and the reincarnation palace appeared in everyone's sight again. Night Sorrow came to the front of the reincarnation palace. The original body of the world of reincarnation appeared and stared at Night Sorrow. It seems that the chi of reincarnation that I gave you is really karma. If you didn't notice it, the world of reincarnation would have entered the stage of destruction. The original body of the reincarnation palace said to Night Sorrow. Chapter 1462. It was plundered a little. It's here. The world of reincarnation's origin body waved its arm. A spiritual stone with green light flew out from the core of the broken formation and landed in the world of reincarnation's origin body's hand. It's good that you're fine. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt relieved. The world of reincarnation's origin body was fine. Everything was fine. I'm wary of everyone but not you. You've done a great service to reincarnation world. There's a limit to how much I can help you. If you need my help in the future, just come here, said the world of reincarnation's origin body. Night Sorrow understands. This is what Night Sorrow should do. Night Sorrow nodded. Qing Emperor and the others bowed to the world of reincarnation's origin body. It was because they didn't do enough that reincarnation world suffered such a calamity. It's not all your fault. But you have to work hard. Why do you feel so powerless? It's because you're not strong enough. The world of reincarnation's origin body glanced at the Lotus the Arch and the other two. Then he threw another City Lord seal to the Lotus the Arch. The original City Lord seal, which was not strengthened by the origin power, had already shattered. Night Sorrow, you have my origin body in your body. If there's a reaction, it means that I want to see you. Remember, I might not see anyone, but I will definitely see you. After saying this, the world of reincarnation's origin body left. His origin chi was plundered. Although he got it back, he still needed to recover. Master, I'll go back to Xuanhuan Great World first. The situation there is very important. Night Sorrow said to Qing Emperor. The Azure Supreme the Arch nodded. His clone could handle the matters here. The reincarnation Great World was no longer in danger. The Celestial Sect's Rank 9 skeleton, Night Sorrow, had been destroyed. What else could threaten the reincarnation Great World? Qing Emperor, I'm returning to the Primordial Tao Celestial. If there's anything, just send me a message. The Primordial Tao Heavenly Lord gave the Qing Emperor a message crystal before leaving. He was also unable to leave. Qing Emperor, the problem that has troubled us for many years has finally been solved. When the star field turbulence in the periphery of Kuan lower bound weakens, we will set up a teleportation array and kill our way in. We won't give them any chance at all. It's too despicable. If we let them do whatever they want in Kuan lower bound will be destroyed. Sima Tianqing said. They only have 2 Heaven Master level puppets in their hands. As long as we set up a teleportation formation, we can get rid of them. Indeed, we can't let them do as they please. Qing Emperor nodded. Night Sorrow arrived at the Black-Yellow Great World. What greeted him was a celebratory feast. He had killed the 9th rank corpse of the Celestial Sect, which was a great event. It could be said that he had brought stability to the reincarnation world. Night Sorrow was also very happy. He drank and chatted with others. Brother Tang, you don't need to worry. Now that we have besieged this place, they have only occupied a small area. The origin of the Black-Yellow Great World should not be damaged too much, Qing Emperor said. The main thing is that we don't have a solution. The area covered by the demon blood chi cannot be broken in. We can only defend passively. That's quite worrying. Tang Jianfeng sighed. Our legions have formed an encirclement. That is to say, we have stabilized our position. The next thing we need to deal with is the demon blood evil bugs. Then the problem will be solved, Night Sorrow said. We don't even know what the demon blood evil bugs are. It's also a big problem to deal with them. The Wu Ling Mountain Master's words were full of helplessness. He knew clearly that if it were not for Night Sorrow and the other Lords of Heaven guarding here, the Black-Yellow Great World would have fallen. There is nothing in the world that is unsolvable. It's just a matter of whether we have found it or not. So what if the demon blood evil bugs are here? They should have a nemesis. Even if they don't have one, they should have one, Night Sorrow said. BC Network, T-Head #S6" that makes sense. Let's think about it carefully. There must be a solution. The Sea King Palace Master nodded. After drinking some wine, Night Sorrow's original body entered the Haotian Godly Pagoda to continue cultivating. He had not finished refining the 3rd drop of soul cultivation liquid. He still needed to continue comprehending his willpower. That was the foundation that determined his strength. After cultivating for a few days, Tang Jianfeng came to Night Sorrow, who was cultivating in front of the formation. City Lord Tang, you have something to do. Night Sorrow stood up. Yes, we have discussed it. If we want to deal with the demon blood evil bugs, we have to catch one or two. Then we can study them and find out where the flaws are. The rest of us can't do it. So I can only come to you, Tang Jianfeng said. If they wanted to catch the demon blood evil bugs, they had to go to the enemy's demon blood chi camp to do it. No one else could do it. Putting aside the fact that Xie Bing was a half-step martial monarch realm expert, they could not even contend against those heaven monarch realm generals. The demon blood chi was the enemy's world. Alright, I will go in later and catch two. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. He understood that he had to do it. After resting for a day, Night Sorrow's original body moved in the middle of the night. While his clone was still cultivating, his original body set off. Night Sorrow stayed in the Haotian Godly Pagoda and controlled it to enter the demon blood chi camp. He was very careful. This time he was not going to fight. He was going to get the demon blood evil bugs. When using his soul power to investigate, Night Sorrow also avoided some areas, which were the areas where Xie Bing was. Experts were very sensitive. If Night Sorrow's soul power swept over, Xie Bing might discover it. On this point, Night Sorrow could avoid it. His clone outside the demon blood chi camp would use his soul power to sweep around openly. He would not go behind anyone's back. After locking on to Xie Bing's location, Night Sorrow's original body soul power would not touch that area. It would not be a big problem to investigate the other areas. The demon blood chi domain did not occupy a large area. It was only a few 100,000 miles in radius. The army was facing off against the black-yellow Great World. There was also an empty area behind them. However, there was King's team patrolling. Night Sorrow controlled the Haotian Godly Pagoda to fly. It was very fast. With the powerful soul power wrapped around it, there were no energy waves. After flying for a while, Night Sorrow came out of the Haotian Godly Pagoda. He used his energy to seal off the area. With a wave of his right arm, he cut open the spatial barrier and flew in the spatial turbulence. He wanted to find the demon blood evil bugs. As for where they were, he did not know. A few 100,000 miles in radius was nothing to Night Sorrow. After searching for a while, Night Sorrow found something. It was a special area. There were many people guarding it. There were heaven monarchs and sovereigns. There were demon blood evil bugs flying in the sky. However, Night Sorrow felt that it was unrealistic to catch them secretly. He had to go out and kill them. After catching the demon blood evil bugs, he would retreat immediately. Even if Xie Bing came, he could escape. Outside the demon blood chi, it did not matter how he fought. Chapter 1463. Although the devil blood evil insects were called insects, they were not. They were huge, about the size of 2 human heads. Their bodies were covered in blood-red scales and blood-red mist was coming out of their mouths. Their flying speed was also extremely fast. Their wings and claws were as sharp as steel blades. Their cultivation bases were all at the void inquiry stage. After Night Sorrow appeared, the first thing he did was to open the gate of the Haotian Divine Pagoda. An energy vortex appeared, wrapping around 20 devil blood evil insects and pulling them into the pagoda. While capturing the insects, Night Sorrow's Samsara performed the Great Emperor Samsara slash at the heavenly monarch who was guarding this place. Night Sorrow's appearance was too sudden. None of the guards had expected him to appear. All the members of the evil army had some impression of Night Sorrow. When they saw Night Sorrow, the heavenly monarch was stunned for a moment. Then he turned around and ran. At the same time, he shouted for his men to inform the evil soldiers. The heavenly monarch ran very fast. However, the halo created by Night Sorrow's Great Emperor Samsara slash was even faster. It directly enveloped him. Break! The heavenly monarch roared. The energy in his body rushed towards his head. Night Sorrow did not say anything. The Great Emperor Samsara slash was effective. Next, his Samsara, which was filled with void energy, performed the void extreme point kill, directly penetrating the heavenly monarch's head and shattering his spirit sea. Yishang waved his arm and stored the heaven monarch's corpse into his storage ring. He had to study the corpse as well. The energy vortex in the Haotian Divine Pagoda was spinning. As Night Sorrow flew, he kept hundreds of devil blood evil insects into the pagoda. Night Sorrow did not kill those sovereigns. He was not interested in them. While flying, he kept collecting the devil blood evil insects into the Haotian Divine Pagoda. The more he collected, the more damage he could inflict on his enemies. As he flew, he collected them as he flew. Night Sorrow flew back. After flying halfway, Night Sorrow was blocked by an evil soldier. The evil soldier received the report from his subordinates and came to intercept him. At this moment, Night Sorrow's movements were huge. His energy was in a state of eruption. Thus, the evil soldier immediately detected him. "Damn it! You dare to come in? I'll kill you today." Xie Bing was very angry because Night Sorrow was looking down on him. He also knew that one of his heaven monarchs had fallen. "You've wanted to kill me for a long time. Can you do it?" "Shameless boasting," Night Sorrow replied. Then he used the will of spacetime to protect his body. His protective barrier slashed in front of evil, drawing an arc in the air, dodging the evil weapon and quickly retreating. I'm going to read it now. Seeing Night Sorrow's speed, the evil soldier's expression changed. He continued to chase. Actually, it was just a chase. Killing had nothing to do with the current situation. In terms of speed, the evil soldiers had no advantage, so they could only keep up with them. After a short while, Night Sorrow rushed out of the area covered by the demonic blood chi. He then turned around and looked at evil soldier. His other doppelganger also rushed over and merged with his original body. Not chasing anymore? Night Sorrow looked at evil soldier who was standing at the edge of the demonic blood chi and asked. His battle saber pointed at Night Sorrow. Then evil soldier flashed back into the demonic blood chi. Outside the demonic blood chi, he couldn't defeat Night Sorrow. Tang Jianfeng, Qing Emperor, and the others all rushed over. "Since we were discovered, shall we find another opportunity?" Tang Jianfeng asked. "Yes, we were discovered. However, the results were not bad. We caught some demonic blood insects and killed a heaven monarch." Night Sorrow smiled and said. He noticed that when Tang Jianfeng spoke, he was a little disappointed. "Killed a heaven monarch?" Tang Jianfeng, heaven monarch Xinhu, and the others were speechless. Since when were heaven monarchs so trashy? They were heaven monarchs too. In the big tent, Night Sorrow took the tea from Datura and took a sip. "The other party has a lot of demonic blood insects. I caught 1/3 of them in the stronghold. You guys can study them later," Night Sorrow said. "There are many alchemists among us. Let's study the demonic blood insects and see what can restrain them. If we can develop a specific poison, we can solve this crisis." The Sea King Palace Lord nodded. Then Night Sorrow took out a few demonic blood insects from the Haotian godly detective and gave them to the Sea King Palace Lord, Tang Jianfeng, and the others. The demonic blood insects could devour the origin energy and release the demonic blood chi. They were very tough. Now Night Sorrow was using the Haotian godly pagoda to suppress them. They were suppressed in the first level of the Haotian godly pagoda. "Okay, we will study them slowly." Tang Jianfeng nodded to Night Sorrow. He had mixed feelings. They couldn't solve the problem in the black-yellow great world, so they had to rely on Night Sorrow. "Don't be afraid of killing them. I have a lot of them. This time I didn't just catch them for research. I caught hundreds of them. It will be a blow to the demonic blood insects. Also, you guys should study what kind of race they are. I feel that they are different from us." Night Sorrow took out the corpse of the heaven monarch he killed. The Sea King Palace Lord took a look and said, "They look like humans, but they are not. They don't have an elixir field. They have a lot of energy and are very strong. In this case, our strategy of attacking their elixir fields is useless." "That's right. Attacking their elixir fields won't hurt their energy foundation. But fortunately, their spirit sea is the same as ours. They are afraid of attacks," Tang Jianfeng added. "No wonder our saber didn't work when we attacked their abdomen. Their energy source is in their head," the Wu Ling Mountain Master said. "Night Sorrow, you have become a nightmare for heaven monarchs. Many heaven monarchs have fallen in your hands." Lord of Heaven Precious Fragrance said. "I don't want to kill. But if anyone dares to touch the people around me and everything I want to protect, I will kill them," Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow had killed 3 heaven monarchs in the Devil Blood realm. This was an amazing record. They were heaven monarchs. It had been a long time since something like this happened in the 3 world groups. "You guys take this corpse for research. I will keep the resources." Night Sorrow smiled. He had killed a heaven monarch, so he naturally took the storage ring. Night Sorrow took out the corpse of the heaven monarch for everyone to study. He wanted to study the corpse of the 9th rank first. The Imperial Realm was a legend. The Shinwu Great World, the Reincarnation Great World, and the Reincarnation Great World group hadn't had a single Imperial Realm cultivator in countless years. However, Night Sorrow didn't have the time. His original body was cultivating willpower, which was related to the improvement of his realm and level. It couldn't be delayed. As for his doppelganger, he had to cultivate his fighting spirit. Therefore, this matter had to be pushed back. The evil soldiers were furious. They had lost a large number of demon blood evil bugs, which had brought them a lot of trouble in conquering the black-yellow great world. If they couldn't devour the origin energy of the world, then what was the point of conquering the black-yellow great world? Hundreds of demon blood evil bugs were adults. It would take time for them to reproduce. The evil soldiers were full of killing intent. Night Sorrow had disrupted their plans. Not only did he stop them from attacking, but he also delayed the conquering of the Devil Blood realm. First update. Chapter 1464. Battle. The enraged evil soldier decided to battle tomorrow and fight to the death with Night Sorrow. Knowing that Night Sorrow's original body and clone were both strong, evil soldier's original body in the Devil Blood domain had rushed over. He had also gathered the commanders of the Evil Soldier Legion and the Heaven Emanations Legion. There were a total of 16 Heaven Monarchs. The Evil Soldier Legion had 9 Heaven Monarchs. The Heaven Emanations Legion had 10 Heaven Monarchs, but 3 were left behind to guard the Devil Blood City. 7 came. Evil Soldier had decided to fight to the death tomorrow. Night Sorrow stayed in the tent and drank tea. At this moment, Tang Jianfeng, the Qing Emperor, and Heaven Lord Shinhu arrived. Master, the 2 Heaven Monarchs are here. Have a seat. Night Sorrow greeted them. Night Sorrow, we found some problems. When we were studying the Devil Blood evil worms, we accidentally killed one. As a result, its energy dissipated. The dissipated energy contained the origin energy of the black-yellow great world and left behind the Devil Blood air sac. This means that the Devil Blood evil worms are an indispensable part of their attack on the black-yellow great world. Now that you have stolen their Devil Blood evil worms, they might be angry and start a battle, Tang Jianfeng said. Then let's fight. I will deal with the evil demon commander. I don't care about the rest. You guys make the arrangements, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow didn't want to trouble himself. He would do what he needed to do and leave the rest to others. With so many Heaven Monarchs around, it wasn't appropriate for him to say anything. All right. We will gather all the manpower we can. Now, other than here, the other places are safe. We will focus on the battle here, Heaven Lord Shinhu said. Worried that Night Sorrow had stolen the Devil Blood evil worms and that the Devil Blood domain would be angry, Heaven Lord Shinhu and the Qing Emperor immediately gathered all the Heaven Monarchs here. Look at F in section RV% of the chapter, Night Sorrow, you have become smarter. Much wiser, Datura said with a smile. What do you mean? Night Sorrow asked. I've learned to make myself simpler. I've learned to avoid some responsibilities that I don't have to shoulder, Datura said with a smile. Actually, there's only so much a person can do. Just do what you need to do. I can fight the demon marshal, so I'll take care of him. As for the other opponents, Master and the others can do their best. Night Sorrow looked at the command tent and said. Soon, all the other Heaven Monarchs had arrived at the Sea Monarch City in the black-yellow great world. Night Sorrow didn't enter the Haotian Divine Pagoda. He merged with his clone and stayed outside the Devil Blood Chi to cultivate his battle intent. However, he felt that the Devil Blood Chi was a little weak. This situation made him realize that it was because he had stolen hundreds of demonic blood insects. The next day, there was not a trace of sunlight nor a trace of clouds. The sky was still the same sky. Energy clouds were rolling in the sky, bringing with them an oppressive killing intent. The rolling energy clouds with a chilling aura constantly collided with the Devil Blood Chi. Confrontation. This was a confrontation of power. Night Sorrow felt a little stirred as he watched. The battle intent on his body brought with it a chilling aura. Just then, the Devil Blood Chi shook and Evil Soldier appeared outside the Devil Blood Chi. Hehe. It seems you really can't afford to lose and want to fight to the death with us. Fine. Come. Let me see how strong you are. Night Sorrow waved his hand and looked at Evil Soldier. Since I'm here, I can naturally flatten your black-yellow great world, Evil Soldier said coldly. Big words, but they are useless. It depends on your strength. Today I'll make it clear. You've caused trouble. Yesterday wasn't considered killing. From today onwards, I, Night Sorrow, will start a massacre. I'll kill all of you. Then I'll go to your demon blood world. Night Sorrow's battle intent rippled in all directions. The chilling aura in his battle intent resonated with the energy clouds in the sky. Who are you trying to scare? Today I'm going to kill. Evil Soldier was furious. Night Sorrow, a monarch, didn't give him any face. He had never been so humiliated. Just then, people appeared behind Evil Soldier. 16 heaven monarchs lined up, followed by 2 legions. However, the devil blood domain didn't have the upper hand in terms of manpower. Now, all the heaven monarchs from the 3 great worlds except for Yuandao heaven monarch had arrived. They were walking out of the teleportation array. They were originally in the sea monarch city. When they got the news that a battle was about to break out, they rushed over. Evil Soldier was shocked. He only checked the camp outside the devil blood chi that was confronting the Evil Soldier Legion. He didn't estimate how many people were there. Come on. If you want to fight, we'll fight with you. Someone hold him back. I'll kill first. Night Sorrow's body shook. His original body and doppelganger split into 2. Then they drew 2 arcs in the air and rushed toward the enemy camp. He used his ultimate move right away. Night Sorrow's original body used the Great Emperor Samsara slash while his doppelganger used the Great Death Destruction slash at the 2 Evil Soldier Legion's commanders. At the same time he used the Soul Destruction slash. Damn it. Evil Soldier's body flashed. A saber aura slashed between Night Sorrow's original body and his target. He knew that his subordinates couldn't stop Night Sorrow. He had to take action. At this moment, Night Sorrow's battle intent was completely released. The space-time energy protected his body. His body flashed and dodged the saber aura from Evil Soldier. He went around the saber aura and continued to attack his target. However, his target had already retreated. At this moment, the heaven monarchs from both sides moved. They started to fight fiercely. Night Sorrow's original body didn't catch up with his target. Instead, he started to fight with Evil Soldier. At the same time, his doppelganger flashed and attacked the heaven monarchs from the devil blood domain. What's going on? Isn't Junior Brother the merit saint? Why is there such a strong killing intent? This shouldn't be. Qing Luan, who was preparing for the battle with the 9 Heavens Legion, was very surprised. So what if he's the merit saint? The virtuous merit saint is also angry. Now these people have touched his bottom line. Xiaqing said. Uncle Summer Junior Brother is very strong. He killed a heaven monarch. Killing a heaven monarch is as easy as taking something out of his pocket. Qing Luan was very excited when she saw Night Sorrow kill a heaven monarch. Summer City didn't say anything. He didn't expect Night Sorrow to be so strong. Evil Soldier's original body and doppelganger surrounded and attacked Night Sorrow's original body. However, they couldn't do anything because of Night Sorrow's speed and strength. At this moment, Night Sorrow had already killed a heaven monarch. The situation was very unfavorable for the devil blood domain. They couldn't let Night Sorrow continue to kill. The Evil Soldier's doppelganger stopped attacking Night Sorrow's original body. Instead, they attacked Night Sorrow's doppelganger. Hold him back, Night Sorrow shouted. He wanted to kill now. Therefore, he didn't want Evil Soldier to stop him. The Wuling Mountain Master and Heaven Monarch Shen whose doppelganger flew towards Evil Soldier's doppelganger. They knew what Night Sorrow meant. Now they had to hold back Evil Soldier's doppelganger and give Night Sorrow a chance to increase his victory. There was no need to talk about the sovereigns. There were many sovereigns in both domains. However, there was one less Heaven Monarch to kill. At this moment, Evil Soldier felt the pressure. His original body was at a disadvantage in the battle with Night Sorrow's original body. If this continued, he wouldn't be able to hold on. Finish. The second chapter has arrived. Thank you, brother. ZZZZ, F Xiao Xiao unblocked yesterday's chapter. Chapter 1465. The Evil Soldier found it hard to accept and he couldn't understand. The last time he fought with Night Sorrow was 2 years ago. Back then he could suppress Night Sorrow but he couldn't kill him. But now things were different. Night Sorrow was fast and his attacks were powerful. He had been suppressed. 2 years, almost 3 years. Night Sorrow had cultivated in the Haoyin Godly Pagoda for more than 100 years. His realm had advanced from the middle-rank monarch to the high-rank monarch. His willpower had also increased so his attacks had been greatly improved. Night Sorrow had also consumed the soul cultivation liquid, which made his soul power stronger. When the soul power was mixed with the genuine chi, the power was naturally stronger. This was due to the improvement of his realm and soul power. Besides, Night Sorrow's fighting will had also improved, which made the Evil Soldier's suppression ineffective. Night Sorrow's body was strong and his attributes were strong. Even though the Evil Soldier was a half-step to the Imperial realm, he didn't have any advantage. Instead, he was at a disadvantage. Retreat. Seeing another Lord of Heaven being killed by Night Sorrow, the Evil Soldier gave the order. He had no other choice. He couldn't defeat Lord of Heaven Shenhu and the Wuling Mountain Master now. The Wuling Mountain Master had the golden body of colored glaze. Even if he was pushed back, he wouldn't be seriously injured. Lord of Heaven Shenhu's soul power was strong, so they complemented each other. When the evil soldier attacked head-on, the Wuling Mountain Master would fight back. The unique skill of the evil weapon contained a soul attack. Lord of Heaven Shenwu rushed to the front of the Wuling Mountain Master to fend off the attack. Both Lord of Heaven Shenhu and the Wuling Mountain Master were wounded, but they would not be killed in a short time. Night Sorrow? By now, Night Sorrow had killed 2 Lords of Heaven. If the evil soldier didn't retreat, more Lords of Heaven would die. After forcing the Wuling Mountain Master and Lord of Heaven Shenhu to retreat, the evil soldier's doppelganger went back to the demon blood chi. Then the doppelganger went back to the demon blood chi. Then the doppelganger went back to the demon blood chi. Remember, don't boast to me. It's meaningless. Night Sorrow shouted to the evil soldier. Q is the only true Z version of Q, the others are pirated / if looks could kill, Night Sorrow would have been killed by Xie Bing countless times. Xie Bing hated Night Sorrow so much that his teeth were numb because of Night Sorrow's existence. The evil soldiers retreated with their army. After leaving behind the 2 Heaven Monarch corpses, Xie Bing led the army back to the Devil Blood Chi. If he couldn't take down Night Sorrow, there was no chance for him to win the battle. Your Honor, what's going on? Why is his killing power so great? Shattered Moon was a little puzzled. Even if it was the void element, there was still a huge gap between a sovereign and a heaven monarch. His battle intent is very strong. You also know that if a heaven monarch wants to become an emperor, he has to control the power of heaven and earth. His fighting spirit is in its embryonic form. His fighting spirit can resist the suppression of my worldly momentum. In other words, my cultivation level is useless to him, said Evil Soldier. What should we do now? Asked Shattered Moon. If our master is not in closed-door cultivation, we can kill him easily. But now our master is in closed-door cultivation. We can't count on that side. We can only wait until my senior brother comes out. We are not strong enough to take them down now. Xie Bing exhaled. He was really annoyed now. After thinking for a while, Xie Bing decided to defend for the time being. As long as they could defend and wait for Lai Bing to come, the 2 of them could work together to solve the current predicament. Lai Bing returned to the core of the Devil Blood Chi, where the Devil Blood insects were breeding, and started to set up defenses. The camp of the Black-Yellow Great World was full of jubilation. They had killed 2 Heaven Monarchs in one battle. This was a great victory. What was a Heaven Monarch? It was the most powerful force besides Xie Bing. It had been many years since anyone had heard of a Heaven Monarch's death. Tang Jianfeng arranged people to set up a banquet for the celebration. Now he knew what to do. The most difficult part of this realm war was that they couldn't restrain Xie Bing. As long as they could restrain Xie Bing, a top warrior, the following problems wouldn't be too big. As for the casualties, only the doppelgangers of the Wuling Mountain Master and Lord of Heaven Shenhu were injured in the battle with Xie Bing. At the Lord of Heaven realm, as long as their origin wasn't hurt, it wouldn't be a serious injury. It wouldn't be difficult for them to recover with some top-level treasures. Night Sorrow, 5 Heaven Monarchs died in your hands. You must be heartbroken, Tang Jianfeng said with a smile. Night Sorrow only nodded with a smile. He was quite satisfied with the result. That evil demon commander is very powerful. But we only restrained his original body or doppelgangers. It's impossible for him to finish killing us quickly. But that's not the case for their Heaven Monarchs facing Night Sorrow, the Wuling Mountain Master said with a smile. The Wuling Mountain Master was smiling, but he was shocked. He and Lord of Heaven Shenwu were only defending and restraining Xie Bing's doppelgangers. It was already very difficult for them. But Night Sorrow's original body did have the upper hand in the battle with Xie Bing's original body. Based on our current strength, we can stabilize the situation. Besides, I've been cultivating outside the Demon Blood Chi for almost 3 years. I'm more sensitive to the Demon Blood Chi. After I caught hundreds of Demon Blood evil worms yesterday, the density of the Demon Blood Chi has decreased, Night Sorrow said after taking a sip of wine. Then what about the strategy to deal with Demon Blood evil worms? Tang Jianfeng looked at Night Sorrow. Lord of Heaven Monarchs, please make the arrangements. I'll act freely later. My doppelgangers will be in the open while my original body will be in the dark. We'll attack the Demon Blood evil worms, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Night Sorrow, you're now our anchor for this realm war. It's important to be careful. We can't be ambushed by the enemy, Tang Jianfeng said. This was what everyone was thinking. As long as Night Sorrow was fine and could hold off Xie Bing, they wouldn't lose this realm war. If something happened to Night Sorrow, then the allied forces of the three realms would lose. They wouldn't be able to resist the slaughter of a half-step Imperial realm expert. After drinking, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. He had some plans in mind. Night Sorrow planned to send his doppelgangers into the demon blood chi to play with Xie Bing. As long as Xie Bing chased after him and didn't defend the area where demon blood evil worms were, he could appear with his original body and use the Haotian godly pagoda to catch demon blood evil worms. The more demon blood evil worms he caught, the greater the damage to the demon blood region. Datura asked about Night Sorrow's plan. Night Sorrow was her husband. Naturally, she was most worried about his safety. Night Sorrow told Datura about his plan. The difficult part is whether your doppelganger can withstand the combined attacks of Xie Bing's original body and doppelganger, Datura said. If it's a head-on battle, then it'll be more difficult. I won't fight with him. I won't even come into close contact with him. My doppelganger is out in the open while my original body is in the spatial turbulence. As long as he wants to attack my doppelganger, then it'll be my original body's chance to attack, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Actually, I just want to live a peaceful life with you. In the city in the sky, we can drink tea and stroll around peacefully, living a peaceful life every day, Datura said in a low voice. There's always some responsibility when you're alive. If there's a responsibility, then you'll have to bear it. If we settle the demon blood region this time, then there won't be so many troubles in the future. Night Sorrow said. Actually, there were some things that Night Sorrow didn't say. The Celestial Sect had rank 9 skeletons. That meant that they might have rank 9 Emperor Realm experts. The danger was still there. Speak. Third update. Chapter 1466. The king was immortal, let alone heaven monarchs and martial emperors. How did the rank 9 skeleton appear? Naturally, it was killed. If the Celestial Sect could obtain the rank 9 skeleton, it meant that they had the ability to kill martial emperors. This was the most terrifying point. After chatting with his wife affectionately for a while, Night Sorrow decided to set off. He wanted to strike while the iron was hot and trick the Devil Blood Domain's allied army. Remember, you are everything to the family and also everything to me. Nothing can happen to you. If you can't handle it, just run. I'll say it again. As long as we are alive, losing doesn't mean losing. Datura reminded Night Sorrow. I know. You are everything to me. I miss the family and love each and every one of you. Night Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Datura. After that, Night Sorrow left the tent. His doppelganger and his original body left together. The two of them were very close to each other and were separated by a spatial barrier. One was in the real world, while the other was flying in the spatial turbulence. Night Sorrow flew toward the stronghold where he caught the Devil Blood Evil insects last time. There were sporadic Devil Blood Evil insects along the way. Night Sorrow also started to catch them. Every time he caught one, there would be one less insect. Night Sorrow naturally couldn't hide what he was doing. He was already discovered by the patrolling Evil Soldier Legion and was alerted. It didn't matter. Night Sorrow wasn't afraid of being discovered. He caught the Devil Blood Evil insects while flying. If anyone blocked his way, he would kill them directly. His style of doing things was extremely domineering. Night Sorrow shook off the scouts who were chasing him and flew toward the stronghold where the Devil Blood Evil insects were. The closer he got to the stronghold, the more Devil Blood Evil insects there were. However, before Night Sorrow could get close, the Evil Soldier came out. He naturally couldn't let Night Sorrow get close to the stronghold. That was the foundation of their attack. He had already ordered the Devil Blood Evil insects to quickly reproduce. If the stronghold was damaged, it would delay this realm war and cause it to be unable to proceed smoothly. Both Evil Soldier and his doppelganger appeared and charged towards Night Sorrow's doppelganger. Night Sorrow's doppelganger changed direction and started to fly at the same speed as the Evil Soldier. Because he was too fast, the Evil Soldier should not chase after him. If he was too slow, he would be in danger. He wanted to lure the Evil Soldier away from this area. As Shao Chen flew, Night Sorrow caught a few demon bloodline evil insects. Every time he caught one, the other party would have one fewer. I, Evil Soldier, swear that I will kill you. Evil Soldier roared. In the past realm wars, demonic blood chi was practically a forbidden zone for opponents. Their strength would be suppressed and those who dared to enter would die. But Night Sorrow's fighting spirit could solve this problem. Without being suppressed, his strength would remain the same as before. Stop shouting. It's meaningless. Night Sorrow continued to fly and capture the devil blood evil insects. However, he also discovered a problem. The difference between the Dragon Cauldron and the Haotian Divine Pagoda was truly huge. The Haotian Divine Pagoda could easily suppress the demon bloodline evil insects, but the Dragon Cauldron could not. Even the weapon spirit of the Dragon Cauldron could not appear. The demon bloodline evil insects would devour the weapon spirit's energy. Currently, Xiaochen was relying on Night Sorrow's own energy to suppress them. Night Sorrow and Evil Soldier, one flying and the other chasing, continued in the demonic blood chi. At this moment, Night Sorrow's original body confirmed that Evil Soldier had left the stronghold's area through his doppelganger's location. His soul power erupted and began to search. He wanted to find the place with the most demon bloodline evil insects and launch a ruthless attack. After searching, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. He found the nest of the demon bloodline evil insects. He also found the mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects. The mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects was bigger in size. Its body was round, and its claws and short wings were spread out like a dandelion. At this moment, it was reproducing with a male demon bloodline evil insect. Its mouth was dripping with saliva which made people feel disgusted. In addition, there was a line of male demon bloodline evil insects that were waiting to reproduce with it. Night Sorrow was a little curious as to why the mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects would behave like this. He did not know that the demon bloodline evil insects were called dandelions by Evil Soldier and the others. It was a special existence among the demon bloodline evil insects as it did not have any males. The mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insect had to reproduce countless times before it could give birth to a descendant with the same genes. In other words, it only had the mother but not the father because there were too many fathers. There were tens of thousands of fathers. The mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects was very powerful. Ordinary demon bloodline evil insects were at the void inquiry stage while the high-level ones were at the venerable realm. However, this demon bloodline evil insect of the demon bloodline evil dandelion evil insect had the cultivation base of a Saint King. Kill. This mother insect must not be left alive. Night Sorrow appeared and directly executed the void extreme kill while the heaven monarchs were not alert. The reincarnation sword pierced through the mother insect's back. Then a halo burst out and directly annihilated the insect. Not even its bones were left. Then the towering Haotian Divine Pagoda opened its doors. An energy whirlpool appeared and sucked in all the demon bloodline evil insects in this stronghold. After capturing the demon bloodline evil insects, Night Sorrow did not fight with the Heaven Monarch realm sovereigns and the Evil Soldier army. He protected himself with the will of time and space, and the slicer flew rapidly. Head of the P1 version, today's harvest was great enough. There was no need to continue fighting. Night Sorrow had already noticed that the Evil Soldier army was no longer chasing after his clones and was returning to help him. They were going to stop him. After shaking off the pursuers, Night Sorrow tore the space apart and entered the spatial turbulence. In such a situation, it was not easy for the other party to detect or stop him. It was not that Night Sorrow was afraid. It was that there were too many variables when fighting in the demon blood chi. Who knew what trump cards the other party had? Some unnecessary risks had to be avoided. When the Evil Soldier army returned to the stronghold, he saw that the demon bloodline evil insect's nest was destroyed and the mother insect was killed. Only scattered demon bloodline evil insects were left. The Evil Soldier army roared angrily. He was extremely angry now. He had never suffered such a loss in countless years. There were only 2 demon bloodline evil insect colonies in the entire demon blood domain. More than half of the dandelion colony had been destroyed. If the remaining larvae did not have the potential to become the mother insect, then this colony would be completely destroyed. After exiting the demon blood chi region, Night Sorrow went to the Alliance army camp. He waved his arm and released all the demon bloodline evil insects from the Dragon Cauldron. Under everyone's shocked eyes, the Dragon Cauldron flew up and smashed down several times, killing all the demon bloodline evil insects trapped by the energy. The origin energy that was absorbed appeared and returned to heaven and earth. You caught so many again? Misty Rain looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Mistress, isn't this disciple's result not bad? That's not all. I also killed a mother insect. It will take some time for the demon bloodline evil insects to recover. It will be impossible for them to spread. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He was in a good mood at this moment. It's not just not bad. It's beautiful. Lord Precious Fragrance also smiled. Every time Night Sorrow made a move, he would solve a big problem. Next, the demon blood chi retreated, and the area it could cover became smaller. The situation stabilized. Night Sorrow also planned to study the rank 9 skeleton. It was a threat from the celestial sect. Only by understanding the enemy could he take precautions. The rank 9 skeleton skull originally had an array, but it had been destroyed by Night Sorrow. Looking at the rank 9 skeleton, Night Sorrow had a different feeling in his heart. The 4th update has been completed. Thank you brothers and sisters for your support. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.